The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
Now recording. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Horrible Gamers podcast, show number 473. Been recording on January the 27th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Jesus, also known as Jesus Walks On. Today I'm joined by my co-host from the West Coast, the best coast, Gunny and Mayo is back. Welcome back, Henley. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Howdy. And from Little Big Ohio, the Mayo, Steve Williams is back. Welcome back, Steve. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. It's going.
Good.
Is your name Steven or is it just Steve?
Yeah, it's actually Steven, but yeah. Ugh.
Steven. Yeah.
Steven,
Yeah.
you get your butt in here right now.
Steve. I
Right?
figured it was
That's when I'm in
Steven.
trouble.
Anyways, welcome back, Mayor. Welcome back, Gunny. We are here. Another show, Horrible Gamers, is on its way. By the way, people, you can follow us on the X at _Horrible Gamers. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate those. And Spotify podcasts, you can find us there. Share us with your friends and family on any podcast platform. Tell them to find us, and we'll most likely be there. Also, join our Facebook group, Horrible Gamers Podcast Community. It's a closed group. Anything you post in there stays in there, but the best place to join us is, of course, on Discord. Join our Discord. The Discord link is in the show notes. If that link does not work, reach out to us, and we will get you a link for sure. One of us will. Just reach out to us. Yeah,
Find us.
somewhere. Anyways, big shout out to Phantom Mick for the intro music and Brooke for free for the outro music to the show. And let's get talking about video games, guys, fellas, stuff. Life has been happening. And yeah.
How's life going, Jesus, in your world?
It's going pretty good, man. It's going pretty good up here. We are living in Oregon. We are alive. Everything's fine. The city did not burn down after Trump became president.
Okay.
Even though there was a few protests, but nothing like as crazy as, I want to say nothing as big as 2016. I don't know. It's not as big as 2016.
Portland, is that what? I remember something going down in Portland, but I can't remember if that was like the George Floyd or President.
Yeah, no, there was the George Floyd protest in Portland, but there also was the when Trump became president the first time, 2016. It was like a lot of protests in Portland, dude. It wasn't like little protests.
I remember
There was a lot of
leave
them
early for work because of the thing going on.
Yeah, you have to leave early because you don't know what's going to be closed or what the fuck is going to be detoured, or if you're going to get stuck in the protests or whatever. Like, you don't know, like you make one wrong turn on the road, and next thing you know, you're in a crowd of people around your car and they're all protesting something, and you're just like, let me through. Don't break my windows. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, for me being north of San Francisco, like I'm good up here. There's not a lot of population, or I've never had like anybody like block the freeway and or putting up
Used to be shit like that.
painting themselves to each other on the freeway or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, I've never really seen anything like that here either. That was
Really?
pretty wild.
Yeah, I know. That happens up here quite a bit. Like the stores all board up in downtown. Like whenever there's something big that's political, or like they know that it might create like some kind of civil unrest and people are protesting about it and mad. Usually the city of Portland directs all the downtown district, which is where the protests usually happen, to prepare for the protest. So you'll see like a bunch of businesses either close early, which a lot of them do, or they just board up all their windows and their doors and everything. Like they like barricade the business so it doesn't get broken into or whatever, or looted or whatever. Because first, when 2016, when this shit happened, they wouldn't do that, and a lot of businesses got fucked up from those like Trump protests, man. A lot of them, like the Apple store was like a big store in downtown. It's gone now because it moved, I think. But it was like a big store in downtown, and it was, of course, an Apple store. So like Apple has like glass everywhere, like glass all around their store.
They're set up.
Oh, well, that glass got shattered pretty bad last time in 2016, and they got all their shit looted, like all their iPhones and iPads and whatever the fuck was out in the open got stolen, which I mean, all that shit was probably trackable, but
I was gonna say
still, it was
you'd probably be
also
able to track it.
yeah. I mean, like all that shit is like dummy shit, like stupid software that like they can lock and track or whatever. So I'm not sure. I mean, of course they lost money, but they the problem with that was due to all those riots and protests, downtown became an area where people felt unsafe, and because of all the looters and all that shit going on all the time, and you just driving through there was hell when there was protests because there was traffic jams everywhere and police everywhere and all kinds of shit going down, people fighting and police arresting people and beating people and all kinds of shit. So people felt unsafe going downtown after that. So the businesses declined ever since 2016, man. A lot of the major businesses that are like big ones or like big brands or big known international restaurants and shit, they all left downtown. All of them. All of them. So
Yeah,
like
there's that.
downtown Portland is kind of like barren now, man. It's kind of like it's not terrible, but it's like just local places now. Really, it's not like any big like corporations there. Like you don't
That's
see
not the
like
same for San
Apple.
Francisco.
Yeah, because everyone like scared everybody off, dude. So these big stores left, like Apple left, the Microsoft store shut down, a bunch of other ones shut down in that area. Like even like
Does
restaurants.
does Microsoft have any more stores?
I don't think so.
I don't
They
know if
had
they
one in
They
do.
Europe.
closed
I
the
just
ones
saw an
up here as
article.
well. 'Cause we had
I
this
just
one
saw an
there. I
article that
remember.
they closed one recently in a different country.
I remember it was a
Yeah,
couple years ago. They had one here, and you could go in there, and they had all these Xboxes, and they had like a. I think they even had like a VR setup of some form,
I'm
like
sure they
sitting up
did.
for like a sample. And that was like when VR was first hitting, and they
When
were like,
they had their own like third party headsets or whatever, like the Vive and shit or whatever.
yeah, it was like it had a little designated area, like right outside the store, like it was right before you walked in,
Yeah,
where you could like see it, and then you had this big TV screen sitting there where you could see what they were seeing. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's cool," But maybe it
yeah.
was even an Oculus hooked up to Microsoft
I'm
Windows.
sure it was. Yeah,
It was something like that. But I just remember them having that, and I remember you could go in there, and they had like this Xbox section, and they just had a lot of laptops and stuff like that you could buy, and they had some
yeah,
like Xbox controllers and stuff hanging on the wall. You could go in and grab.
yeah. Microsoft stores were kind of nice, but they were. I mean, Microsoft just doesn't know half the time what to do with their shit that they sell, so they always fuck up. Like I don't hear anyone talking about the Surface anymore. Like the Surface
Yeah, yeah,
laptops,
yeah.
those were pretty big back in like 2015, 2014, 2016, and now
Yeah, I think I had one back in 2014.
no one talks about them
Not the
anymore.
Pro, but the regular Surface.
No one talks about them. No one uses them. I mean, I'm sure people still use them, even some maybe, but
Yeah, what's that
yeah,
brand that they're always promoting? Is it Lenovo or something? They're always
yeah,
promoting.
Lenovo.
Yeah, there's another brand.
They still sell the Surface. I'm looking at it right now. They still sell it on their website. So it's the newest model or whatever. But
They just don't promote
And they
it
do have
evidently
some kind
as
of
well as much.
small tablet slash phone, but it's not exactly a Windows phone. It's more Android.
they do sell phones too, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Android. I don't know like who they team up with on that. It's probably like AT&T, I would assume. But it's not like again, it's
No,
not the Windows 10, the old Windows 10 phones, but
the only phone I see here is the Surface Duo Pro, and that's an old phone. That
that's
came
what I was
out.
thinking of. Yeah, the
Didn't
Duo
that come out
Pro.
a few years ago?
Yeah,
I
a
think
couple years
so.
ago, I believe.
Didn't John from VGO have that one for a while?
Yeah, I'm sure
He
he
was talking
did.
about it, and he's always like, "Oh, I can game on this Surface Windows phone. It's great." I remember him saying,
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't look
"Man,
great.
what
The
is an
tech specs
Xbox, right?"
don't.
Now he
Yeah.
could have been like,
Tech specs don't look that great on. I mean, I guess now compared to like new phones, it's not that great looking. Anyways, yeah, man. So yeah, downtown is, but it's still standing. I mean, like I said, there was a few protests there like a few days ago, but I guess the most recent thing that happened was people went to the ICE building, the immigrations and customs enforcement building, and they like try to burn it down or something, some shit.
Some Molotov
Uh,
cocktails in there at
Up in
Windows.
Portland, yeah, no, legit. They were trying to burn it down or something. Like they were trying to break the windows and burn it, and the police showed up and fucked everybody up. But
Bunch of rubber
yeah,
bullets flying everywhere.
yeah. Also, they broke into the elections office in downtown Portland. I don't know why. I guess they were mad about the election results, but it's a little too late now. I think
Right.
they broke into the elections office. I don't know why you would break into the elections office. Like, but why would they?
It was
What would they
all
have in
rigged. It
there?
was all scam.
whatever. It's weird
They
to me that they
stole it.
do that. But
Damn Republicans.
yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened in Oregon. So, but yeah, we're still doing good. Everything's good up here, man. Nothing crazy. Nothing, nothing crazy is going on. But yeah, video games. I played a few video games this week. Speaking of crazy, I played more in Norland. More of that. King Jesus died, of course, a long time ago, and his son. Hey, listen, man. Remember I told you that Borislav or whatever the other guy, Rodoslav, became the king after he
Right.
killed Borislav, which was Jesus' brother. Well, Rodoslav became the king, right? And then when Jesus' son became of age, I forget his name, he became of age. I had him promoted, like granted a title, like in the house of the family or whatever. He was granted a title so he can like have a title or whatever. But as soon as that happened, I had him, I had the king pass the crown to him. And you can do that. You can have the king give the crown to anyone. You could be like, I want this person to be king now or queen. But I made the king give him the crown because the king was old as fuck. Rodoslav was like 67 years old or something. And then I had Rodoslav executed by the king. Yeah. So as soon as he gave him the power, I had him chop his head off. And then Rodoslav's son was pissed, right? Because Rodoslav's son was in power at the time and he was the heir to the throne. But then Jesus' son became a title member of the house. And then he became king. So that dude was all pissed off at the king or whatever because he's like, I was supposed to be the heir to the throne. You fucking took my shit. So he wanted to start like a rebellion. And I had his head chopped off. And then, yeah, so that's kind of what happened. So now we're like all living
Does this game
together.
also have like a jail or prison where you can basically
Yes and no. You can exile people and you can also capture like people that are visiting your kingdom because random kings and queens and members of other houses will come to your kingdom randomly to visit. Like just randomly show up and hang out for like a little bit and leave. I don't know why, but they just do it. It'll be from random kingdoms that come and visit. I've never seen like an enemy, like somebody that hates you, like anyone from that kingdom actually come to your kingdom to visit. But it is an option. Like if you're really charismatic, you can visit enemy kingdoms and like try to like have diplomatic relations with them or whatever. But if you're not that charismatic, your charisma's too low, you can't go there and you can't do whatever with it. Anyways, but when people come visit your kingdom, you can have them captured if you're like the person you're sending to capture them has a pretty high combat level. The chances of you capturing that person becomes really high. But they don't go to prison. Like I said, the nobles and all the lords or whatever, they get captured and imprisoned, but they still walk around the map. They still sleep on like a lord's house. They're still treated like a lord. They can still like learn knowledge, spread knowledge, write books, read books. They eat what the nobles eat and all that. They don't get treated really like prisoners. You know what I mean? Like the other prisoners, like say I go to battle with somebody and I defeat that army and I capture 10 of their warriors or whatever, and their lord commander, I capture him too. Well, when I bring the lord commander back to prison in my kingdom, like in the 10 warriors, the 10 warriors get put in like the prison barracks, fucking like the prison cells. Like they get put over there, but the commander gets put in like a lord's house and he's treated for his wounds and he's like treated like a lord. You know what I mean? Because he's a lord commander of that army. You understand what I mean? They treat nobles different than they do the poor people. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like, that's kind of how it works in this game. I was thinking, I guess it's historically kind of accurate, you know, because I'm pretty sure that's what happened back in the day with like kings and queens and shit. They had like these rules, you know, where like, yeah, yeah, they're your enemy, but you still have to treat them like a lord. You know what I mean? They're not a lord. You know what I mean? Even though you want to kill them, you know what I mean, Mayo? They're still technically a lord, and there's rules to this shit. You know, like
Yeah, right.
so that's
Yeah.
kind of what it was like. You know, think of like Game of Thrones, Johnny. You think back to Game of Thrones. Remember when Sansa, when her dad got his head chopped off by the king because he betrayed the king?
Yeah.
Lord Stark or whatever, he got his head chopped off for betraying the king and trying to like overthrow the king or whatever. And because he was the hand of the king, he said, "No, I'm supposed to be the king till you become of age." And the king was like, "Fuck you! I'm chopping your head off." And he chopped his head off. Well, Sansa was there at the kingdom, right? She was at the Seven Kingdom, fucking whatever the house or the big castle. She was there, right? The big city, right? Well, she was there as a prisoner, really. You know what I mean? Yeah, she was supposed to marry the king or whatever, and then she married the little midget dude or whatever, Tyrion or whatever. But technically, she was really a prisoner if you think about it. You know what I mean? But she wasn't treated like a prisoner. She was treated like another lord or whatever of the kingdom, you know, like another noble person of the kingdom. Even though she was technically a prisoner, she couldn't just leave whenever she wanted to and go back home. You know what I mean? She had to escape to go back home. So that's kind of how this game is, like that. So think of like these people like her, like they're just prisoners, but they hang out in your kingdom. And yeah, man, that game is pretty cool. I'm still trying to figure out how to increase my population. It's still hovering around 90, and I've grown my army like to like 40 people now. No, I think I got it up to like 70 people. I don't know, I'm trying to grow my army as big as I can. I think I'm trying to have like 100 soldiers, maybe, or 200 or 150, so I can take on the Inquisition, which is the church. Because I've conquered enough of the map. I conquered half of the map already, so I've taken over half of the map with vassals or whatever. And it says you can at any point now, it says, because you've owned so many kingdoms or whatever, you can consider yourself an emperor. But they said, just know, as soon as you consider yourself the emperor, all like the church will send the Inquisition to fight you. So just know that. So I'm kind of scared of the Inquisition because, like I said, last time I did that, they came with like a bunch of people, and they were all max level soldiers. So what I'm trying to do is build up my inventory of like high level armor and swords and shields, and level up my troops and make a big enough army and defenses. So when those fuckers do come, I can just kill them all. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This game
So
is
that's,
You'll be
is
ready.
crazy. Like I get into I try to play it the one time just a little bit, and it just seems so deep and so complex. Like overall, then you talk about it like it's so easy. You're like, oh yeah, I remember just like just initially just a first impression. I'm like, I feel like there's like so much to this. I'm like lost already. I need to go back and try it again and just to see like all
yeah.
the things because like all the possibilities seem just nuts. But I
Yeah,
have it
there's a lot of
installed. I
things you
need to
could
go
do.
back in. Hopefully this coming week I'll dive back into it.
Yeah, it's a lot of things you could do in that game. I think Kathy asked me what game it was. I think you wanted to check it out. It's a fucking fun game, dude. I love that game. It's so much fun. But besides Norland though, I play a little bit more Call of Duty, and yeah, it's Call of Duty. I got another gold gun. I finally got that Compact 92 or whatever gold. So now I'm working on the PP19 to get that gold, and then I'll be working on another submachine gun to get that gold. Um, so yeah, I've been doing that, grinding on that shit.
Did you enjoy grinding through that? Because me, I always just it would kind of just change my focus so much. I'm just kind of like, oh, whatever. I'm just trying to do the whole objective with that gun. And I said, just having fun with it. It's like,
Kinda.
I'm just gonna go in there and get this done, and just literally just go in with a purpose and just
I kind of do
grind for
both
that one.
sometimes. Sometimes I go in with the purpose to like win. Sometimes I go in with the purpose to just grind.
Because
It
it's like
depends,
you have to
really.
get certain kills with this gun that you
Yeah,
absolutely hate,
yeah,
and you're just like,
yeah,
I don't want to do this, but I need to do this, So then you're just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
So
let
it
me
does
go in and
suck
do this.
sometimes. Like the worst one is the shotgun, man. That pump shotgun. I hate that fucking gun. I hate it. And I have to get 100 headshots with it, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna
Yeah,
take me
right.
like
That one's
it's gonna
tough.
t- it's gonna take me like
You're in
forever to
Nuketown,
do
you can
that.
go around the house. I don't know. Yeah, or
Yeah, I
or
guess
or
Nuketown
or
or that stakeout or whatever,
yeah.
that little tiny fucking apartment one. I can do
Are
it
they
on
still
those
doing
maps.
the red light, green light thing?
I think they are, yeah. That was gonna end pretty soon though. I think the next event is called, I forget what the next one was called, but they already announced it. It was some new event that they have coming up. Uh but yeah. Of course they've been having double XP weekends like crazy. The
So could
battle
you,
pass ends soon.
just out of curiosity, say you have to do something, say you have to get so many headshots with a certain gun, right? Like your shotgun. Could you go into the red light, green light event, and when everybody's standing still, just take the shot, kill a guy, even though you're gonna die too? Does that count?
No, because I think
Yes, it counts,
didn't
but
the
you're
thing
gonna
used to be you had
die.
to
Just be
stay through the
standing
whole
there. You're
event?
just gonna respawn, right? So
Yeah.
like your KD is gonna be garbage. You can sit there and just like get the shittiest gun that you don't want to use or whatever, and you could just turn headshot everybody because they're all just standing still on that small map.
It's really hard though because as soon as you move, you get shot by the AI.
Yeah,
Like I'm talking like as soon as you move, you get like
move the like
taken
your
out.
sight or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, you
Don't
get
touch
like
the keyboard, right?
you
Or
get
controller.
killed really quick.
Could
Yeah,
I
so
couldn't imagine having like a really sensitive mouse. It's like on really high, sensitivity.
Or
yeah,
a Hall effects keyboard,
Yeah, like you
right?
sit your
Well,
drink
this is
down on
for
your desk and it
sensitivity.
vibrates the mouse enough to move your character, your screen.
yeah. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. Also, I've been playing some other games. What else did I play this week? I played something else. Oh, I played that new ICBM Escalation. Just came out not that long ago. Maybe this week, maybe last week. I think it came out this week till the 20 something, 22nd, maybe 21st.
You
I don't
already played
remember.
one like this? Is this a newer one?
This is the new one. Escalation is the second game to the first ICBM game. So this is the new one. Just came out. No, it came out last year, like in November, but the last patch was on the 15th or something. Yeah, that's what it was. It just came out not long ago. But anyways, saw it was on sale. Kind of expensive for what it is. It's $26, $27, I think. So it's kind of expensive for what it is, but it's just like ICBM 1 Mayo and Gunny, where you are pretty much you pick a country, like any nation, North America, South America. There's not really it's not really countries, it's more like sectors like Europe, Russia, like what Russia is considered Russia and like Northeast Asia or Northwest Asia. There's Southeast Asia, there's Eastern Asia or some shit.
Continents is what you're doing.
Yeah, so you're kind of picking like whatever sector of the map you want to play as. So I play as North America, and pretty much you start off with points or whatever, like certain like abilities and certain things, like certain cruisers, like aircraft carriers, submarines, air bases, satellites you can put down. You can put them down in your area of the map, and then as the game progresses, right, there's peacetime where like nothing is allowed, no war is allowed. It's called peacetime, and the timer's counting down. During that time, you're kind of just researching shit. You're trying to research tech, like better soldiers, better infantry, better weapons, better like satellites, better spy satellites, better airplanes, better nukes, how to make nukes, how to launch nukes. You're trying to research all this shit. And then peacetime ends and all alliances start forming. Like, oh, Europe made an alliance with South America. Russia made an alliance with Southeast Asia. South Pacific Asia or whatever made an alliance with North America or whatever. Like all these countries start making alliances, and then once those alliances are made, um, people start going to war. So it'll be like, oh, uh, Russia starts attacking the Syrian continent of Syria. They're trying to invade Syria. Well, Syria is not really part of like anybody's territory. It's kind of like an independent territory. So no one's really attacking Russia for doing that. But then all of a sudden it says Russia has now started attacking Europe. So now it shows Europe and Russia going to war and like sending bombers to each other and like dropping bombs and shit. And then it says, oh, like all of a sudden it'll say like nuclear threat detected. And you're like, oh, fuck, who launched a nuke? But it'll show like a missile shooting from like Russia into like the ocean. And you're like, okay, they shot something in the ocean. I don't know what, maybe a submarine, something, I don't know. But like, you start pretty much what you're trying to do is build up your military strong enough, and build up enough nukes to when the shit pops off with you in any country, you go to war with them. But then if nukes start shooting off, then it's your time to launch nukes, and everyone launches nukes, Gunny. And the point of the game is to, I guess, at the end of it, have the least amount of people dead on your side and more people dead on the enemy side. But that's how you win. That's how
Okay,
you win.
that's how you. Yeah.
But really, like, no one really wins because you still lose a lot of people. Like you can have all the defenses up in the world. Like, you can have like interceptor satellites that can like shoot like shit from space into down
Star
to
Wars shit,
Earth. You can have that. You can have
or
strategic.
as they call it, for satellite lasers.
You can have strategic jets that can like interceptors that can intercept ICBMs. You can have SAM sites. You can have aircraft carriers, submarines, all this shit that can do all this crazy shit. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are gonna die on both sides, and that's kind of like the point of the game. Like, is to see like nuclear war will always end up with a lot of people dead on either side. And it's just no one really ever wins until like people stop shooting nukes. You know what I mean? Like there's no real clear winner at the end of the day. Like
Hey, we
there's
will
not.
rebuild. Okay, we got silos and bunkers.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Being underground for 300 years. Good luck on your little silo you built in your backyard.
Fallout.
Good luck. Good luck on your little bunker you build in your backyard, Gunny, when there's 300 years of fucking radiation outside. But yeah, so there's that. I played a little bit of that. So that's kind of like the first game, but a little bit. They have a little bit different scenarios. So they have like current modern maps, which is like the way the world is now, or whatever. But they also have like something called the 1960s map or something, where it's like the USSR, whatever they held its territory, and it shows like NATO, the Warsaw Pact. It shows Warsaw, NATO, the USSR, North American. Well, that's part of NATO, right? The North American, whatever the fuck. And then there's the something else. There's Warsaw and another one. I think it's called OSEC or something. I forget what the fuck the other one's called. There's like all these treaties these countries had where like they were like grouped up together, right? Like all these nations or whatever. So you can play that mode too, where you can kind of play out those scenarios. And there's also a historical like scenario one where you play out like historical scenarios, which I don't know what that means. Like I have no clue what the fuck that means. Like I guess we were at a point where we are gonna shoot nukes at each other, but I guess I'm assuming like the Cuban Missile Crisis and shit. I guess you're playing that and seeing what happens if you like
Like
you
Cold
launch
War
nukes.
scenario.
Yeah, I guess. It kind of reminds me of like, but it does remind me of that movie War Games, where like you're just seeing like this map, you see all these things, and you're just like, it's just numbers to you, right? But in reality, it's people that are dying, like because you decided to launch attacks on people. Yeah,
Yeah, so it looks like Escalation came out in November of 20,
yeah, it came out last year. Like I said, it came out in
and
November.
first one came out in November of 2020, so 4 years.
Mhm.
And
I
they
know
got
I
a
played the
soundtrack
first
for
one.
$5,
I don't know.
and
The
it's got
soundtrack is kind
pretty
of
positive
whatever.
reviews on it.
The game is fun though, but I don't know if it's $26 fun. I would say wait for it to go down only $20, maybe 15 at most.
Yeah, check CD keys or
I tried and it wasn't on there.
something.
But yeah, I played some of that. But the other game that I've been playing is I've been playing what's that game called? News Tower. Yeah, News Tower. So News Tower is an early access game, people. I know I've spoken about it before, but the people that haven't listened before or don't know what the fuck it is. It's a game where you are running a newspaper company, Mayo, in 1930s. All right.
I don't remember you talking about this. For some reason.
Yeah.
Was this on? I can't remember if this was on mobile or on Steam.
No, it's on Steam. Right. So you're running like a paper company, and it's a newspaper company. So you have like your reporters, you have the people that assemble, like when the reporters come in, the people that like whatever they assemble the shit that the reporters do, and then they take it to the other guys that do like the typesetting, which they kind of assemble the way it's going to go on the newspaper. And then you have your machine that prints out the pages, and you have like an editor. You can have a lawyer if you get lawsuits against you. You can have a security guard in case there's protesters or mobsters that come and fuck your place up. There's like now they've added new stuff, so they added lots of big updates. They added like they've added what would you call that? They added a cartographer, which is the person who does like maps. They also added a photographer to it, so you have a photography like you have a photographer reporter, but you also have like a dark room to like produce the photos the guy takes. Then you have another room where like the photos get printed, and then they got another room where the photos get like these chemical things added to it to be able to put on paper or whatever. It's all this crazy shit. Like the part I'm having issue with right now is not enough space in my tower. I want to expand more, but it costs so much to go up another floor. I'm up to like 5 floors now, I think, but I'm trying to get that 6th floor, and it's still expensive. It's like $15,000, and I only have like 4,000 right now, 5,000. But I do have 3 pages on my newspaper now, and they also added the subscription thing now, where like people subscribe to your paper, and like every week, depends on the articles you publish, your audience kind of shifts, and it'll show like this little thing on the when you print out your page and sell or whatever, it'll say your sales and your subscriptions and your loose sold and all that shit. But then it'll say like your like how people view your newspaper, and it goes from being like informative to what's the other one called, Gunny? Sensational. Like you're either a sensational newspaper and for an informational newspaper, or you could be a moderate newspaper. And I'm kind of always stuck in the middle. But there's been a few times where I published a lot of like sensational stories, so it shifts a lot to the right, and you lose subscribers based on if you have a lot of subscribers in the moderate section and you shift too much to the right, then you lose subscribers there, but you gain subscribers on the right. If you publish more informational stuff, you go all the way to the left, you lose subscribers on the right. Kind of shit like that. So they added that to the game.
Here.
Yeah, kind of like that. But they added a lot of stuff to it, a lot of updates to the game. So, like I said, they added the photographer, they added the cartographer, they added like now they have pneumatic tubes. I don't know how to unlock them yet. I've been trying to find out where do I unlock those, because you unlock these things by like expanding your reach on the map, and once you reach like a certain amount of people, you can reach like a building, and that building unlocks like the elevator. The other building over here unlocks a lawyer. The building over here unlocks ads. The building over here unlocks the mayor. The building over here unlocks the rich people, the society of rich people. The building over here unlocks like a discount. It unlocks the paper factory, so you can get like a discount on paper or whatever. Like you can buy these upgrades by getting like these points by getting different sections of the map, right? Like conquering different sectors of the map. And to conquer different sectors, you have to publish certain stories. So like if you click on a group of like I want to go this way next, and you click on that, it'll say like, okay, to conquer this area or whatever, to finish this area, you must do like a one crime story, one story about politics, another story about college or education, and another story about murder, like some kind of like crazy crime. You're like, okay, I'll do that. And then you have to kind of when you're using the Telegraph to find news stories and you're sending your reporters out to, sometimes you have to decline certain stories because you're like, that doesn't cover what I need to cover this week. You know what I mean? So like you had to kind of decline certain stories, or you don't have the equipment to cover that story. Like sometimes when I didn't have a photographer for a bit, a lot of stories would pop up that would say like, this story, to complete the full story, you need a photographer. Like you can send your reporters out to do the first part of the story, but you cannot finish the story because there's no photographer, and you need a photographer reporter to finish this. So a lot of those I couldn't finish the full story, but I would publish the first half of the story or whatever, you know what I mean, what I could. But yeah, like there's a lot of things in this game, man. A lot of managing of like, okay, how do I lay out my tower, because you only have so much space on each floor, and it takes time for your people to walk up and down the elevator, go up and down the elevators, and like, you know what I mean? It takes time for them to walk to like the bathroom or to get water or to get whatever, like to go outside. It takes time for the reporters to walk outside. To walk inside, it takes for the reporters to walk inside. Is
there a thing where you can speed up time as well?
Oh yeah. There's time where you can speed up time, of course. But like I said, like you have to kind of be like, you're managing how to design your tower and how to plan it out in terms of layout. But you're also trying to manage your stories, and you're trying to manage keeping everyone happy, because people get like depressed or sad if like their workplace is uncomfortable. So like if like, for example, you put somebody in the area where like the printer machine is at, the printer machine is really hot and loud. So if you don't put a wall in between the printer machine and that person working on that floor, whether it be a janitor or whoever, they start getting like sad or whatever, like their emotional, whatever, like brain, whatever the fuck, their stress level gets too high or something. And it'll show like it'll show like a little brain icon, and it'll start turning red from green. And if it goes all the way to 0, like they become really like ineffective at their job. Like instead of being a good janitor, they kind of start fucking off and like not cleaning shit like they're supposed to. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to like build counters against like noise and heat and comfort and all that shit. So you like put plants and lights and air vents and fans and different shit up. Kind of like, yeah, or like different shit up, like water coolers and shit to keep people happy, and like, you know what I mean? You have to have bathrooms to make sure people can go to the bathroom, or else if there's nowhere to go to the bathroom on your tower, then people can't go to the restroom. They start getting fucking lazy or too distracted. I don't think they do that, but I think they get too distracted and too depressed or something or whatever, and like they don't do their job. And the problem, the one that it affects the most, I want to say, is the typesetters, the people that do that, and the people that edit, like the people that set up the newspaper, like the way it's going to be set up on the newspaper, and the reporters. Like if the reporters are really low on their brain thing because it's too hot or something in the room or it's too whatever, when they go do a report, it'll say like this report was done sloppy, like it's poorly written, it has a lot of mistakes. What do you want to do with it? You can still publish it, but people, you're kind of like, you should publish a shitty report, like you kind of like lose a little bit of money for it being a little bit sloppy, you know what I mean? But you can hire an editor that can also edit these things, right? So like an editor, you can send that report up to the editor and he will edit the fucking paper, like he would fix it, you know what I mean? It takes a few hours for him to do it, but he'll do it and he'll fix the mistakes that the reporter made or whatever. But yeah, kind of like a really cool game, man. It has a 1930s aesthetic, all these little old cars driving by, kind of cartoony looking, little like old timey like 1930s fucking music playing.
Yeah, I can only imagine being back then, like everybody's like on, especially all maybe not the reporters, but yeah, probably then when they get back and they're all on typewriter, versus like a computer, how we are now.
Yeah, how we are now, right?
Set up, right? I mean, it's got a keyboard, right? It's
Yeah,
called a typewriter at that time. Like the screen is your paper.
yeah, and like
But they were probably the
yeah.
best spelling people back in that time.
Oh fuck, yeah, they probably were.
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably had
but
dictionaries like how to.
you can expand your tower to have like a lot of a lot of the telegram people. The telegram people are the ones that have like the little little Morse code machine or whatever, and they're the ones that send out like they're the ones that get the stories from like around the world. Or like usually it starts off in the U.S. only, but you can expand your tower enough and get enough typewriters or enough, I don't know, not typewriters, telegram people. Once you expand enough, because I know I've done it before, you can expand enough floors and like have enough area to have enough of these guys working where you can have it to where they start doing international stories, and you can start sending your reporters to like Europe and Africa, and they start covering World War II shit before World War II, because it's based in like 1930s, and the game goes up to like the 1960s or 70s or something. So like it covers all of World War II and the Korean War and shit. So it covers like Hitler's rise to power. It talks about like this crazy guy in Germany is like rallying all the people to like vote for him and shit. So you send your reporter out to cover that story. You know what I mean? You send your reporter out to cover, like it'll have a lot of historical events that happened back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, like pretty accurate events. That'll be like breaking news. Like breaking news, Herbert Hoover signed the Tax Declaration Act or something like that. And then you could send out your reporters to cover that breaking news or whatever. And if they cover that breaking news for that week, it'll be like, all right, politics is really hot this week. Like if you print a lot of politics stories in your newspaper, you're going to sell more copies. You're going to make more money because people want to read about politics. Or like it'll be like, oh, this crazy crime thing happened and this is breaking news. It'll be like, all right, crime is really hot this week. Like if you print a lot of crime, you're going to get a lot of people buying your shit. The problem with that though is that sometimes it conflicts with like your main objective of like trying to like gain this new territory. You know what I mean? Because when you gain a new territory, that's how you unlock these little tokens, and those tokens are where you use to purchase upgrades. Like these little tokens, every time you unlock a sector, you get these little tokens. Like it'll be like you get 8 tokens for this sector, 4 for this one. But if you only do like 2 out of the 4 things that you were supposed to do in that sector, you'll get 2 tokens, but you don't get all the 4 tokens. So you kind of want to get all the tokens so you can upgrade your tower fully. You know what I mean? You can buy the elevator, you can buy the coffee machine, you can buy the upgrade, like the comfort upgrades for your reporters and like the comfort upgrades for the telegram people and the lawyer and all that shit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So,
It's
like
a
for
pretty cool
example,
game.
on the newspaper, is it like a daily thing or like a weekly thing? Like, how does that work?
It goes out weekly. So you have a whole week. It starts off with Monday, and you have till Sunday to have all your things edited and done and ready to go. So, like I said, it starts off with you getting the story with the telegram. You click on the map, you send the reporter out. The reporter has to be able to do that story because the reporters have like skills. Like this reporter is only good at politics, crime, and entertainment. he doesn't do sports. So there's a sports story and you only have this guy available. You can't send him out till your sports story reporter comes back from his other story. You know what I mean? So
Does
sometimes if
that
you
take
have like
time and day wise too, right? Like
yeah,
to
it
figure out
takes
the
time,
time.
right? Because you're like now you're waiting for this reporter, and like sometimes when like I know I like say I know I sent out all my reporters on a breaking news thing, and it was a politics thing, and I sent out all my politics guys, and a new politics story pops up, and I'm like, well, fuck, I just sent out all my guys. I don't have a politics guy. Fuck it, I'm just gonna like you can reset the thing, and the Telegram guy will try to find a new story, sort of like delete that thing or delete off the map and your Telegram guy will start working again, the meter will fill up all the way again, and then he'll try to find another story, right? Um, just sometimes you have to do that because, like I said, you just sent out all your reporters on something that's going to take a day. You're going to have this story sitting here for a day, and your reporter's going to be idle for a day. So you're kind of wasting time by having your reporter just sit there doing nothing for a day. So it's better to just reset that tab and be like, fuck it, I'm going to reset this and try to get a new story to get this guy out of here and reporting out. You know what I mean? Because you don't want your reporter sitting idle and just wasting time because then that's just a waste of resources. You want to have your reporters constantly going out.
Might get depressed and shot on the floor.
Exactly. You want your guys out on the fucking streets, getting the stories. And like I said, when you send them out, there's sometimes risks with some stories. Like some stories will have like a lawsuit risk. Like if you print it, or like if you send your reporter out to this, a little thing pops up that says this is a lawsuit thing that might happen. So a little thing pops up, a little meter goes back and forth, ching, 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 like a little arrow. And it says no lawsuits, 2 lawsuits, or 4 lawsuits. And it'll land randomly on one of those. And then you get 4 lawsuits, and then you get lawsuits, and you have to send those to your lawyers so you can deal with them. So all these things happen, right? But it's a pretty cool little fucking game. And I like that the developer is once again, like Norland, kind of active. Not as I would say as frequently as Norland, but pretty close. And they're doing pretty good. So they're updating the game quite often, and people like the game. People are saying like, "Yeah, this game is fun." Like it gets difficult. Like you do have times where you're like, "Fuck, this is so stressful. How am I going to do this? Like I got all these objectives to do, and I don't know how the fuck I'm going to get all these stories out." And it sucks because things break, and you have to have your mechanic guy fix the things that are breaking, and like all these things are constantly going. You have to have a janitor, you have to have a guy that cleans the bathrooms, you have to have a guy that fixes things, you have to have a guy that like um like gets deliveries and puts away the paper and the coal to power your generators and all this crazy shit, like all this stuff to make your place run efficiently and nicely and smoothly. You know what I mean?
That's cool. So this game's $20 on Steam, and there is a demo.
Yeah, and the demo is pretty lengthy. When I say if you play this game, if you buy it or whatever, do not start in when you start a new game and it asks you, "Do you want the tutorial?" I would always say yes, because if you say no, it starts you off with like a blank slate, like just an empty building with one floor, and you kind of have to start building from the one floor up. And you have $15,000, which is quite a bit of money to build up your shit, right? You can build up to like 2, 3 floors with 15 grand. Problem with that is that like you don't have nothing already set. You have to set everything yourself. When you do the tutorial, you kind of start off with like a pre-made building almost. You have a 2-floor building that kind of has like some preset stuff. It kind of is like the stuff is broken, so you have to replace it, but it kind of like gives you an idea how to like set up the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds a lot better
So
with tutorials,
you,
right? Especially
yeah,
the demo, you don't know what the hell you're doing unless you're watching
yeah.
YouTube and shit, which sucks.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So there's that. I'm waiting to see what
Exactly.
happens with that game. But that's really all I played. Real quick, I want to mention though that quick shout out to what's that game, Ready or Not, because they just announced they're gonna have a new DLC coming out soon, Mayo.
Oh, really?
And guess what, Mayo? Guess what this new DLC adds?
I don't know. What could they possibly add?
A helicopter, Mayo.
Oh, a
What?
helicopter, huh?
Fuck yeah, it
How
adds a
they incorporate?
helicopter.
How are they gonna do that? Like,
Well, I don't know how they're gonna do that. I've been watching videos on it, but like I don't know, I don't know if you're on the ground and you can like pull up a tablet to see what the helicopter is seeing, but
That's what I think it is.
the
Oh, they
helicopter
already have that.
circles
They already
the
have
heli-
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
I watched
helicopter
it on YouTube like a month ago.
the
That was
helicopter
on
like
that cruise, like the yacht mission.
yeah, the helicopter circles the map or something, and you can like see night like through night vision mode or whatever. You can see it on
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I already
You
saw that.
can
I watched it
toggle.
on a YouTube video, but that was
You
already
can
like a thing. That's
no,
already
it wasn't. No, it's like it's a new update, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying
yeah,
to
but
find
I
out.
swear I watched this video like a month ago. It was just two guys playing like yeah, it wasn't like a developer or anybody.
I don't know how the fuck they got it. They must have worked with the dev team. There ain't no fucking way. Like, I don't think this is out yet, dude. I don't know. Anyways, shout out to them, but also big no shout out. This is a Jesus does not recommend anymore game. All right, this is a new thing I'm doing. All right,
The not recommend.
yeah, the not recommend. All right, Jesus does not recommend anymore. Just loses my recommendation. It's that game War Hospital. Remember War Hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the
There
one you
was that.
kind of like was hard as fuck or whatever? Like
Yes, there was like that World War One where you're like managing. You're like a general, like surgeon of a hospital, and you're trying to manage your soldiers and send them back out to the front lines or whatever. So this game apparently, I don't know what happened, but the studio that published the game imploded, which in turn the developer that was working on the game imploded as well, and they stopped getting paid, so they all quit. And now the game is just abandoned in like a half-ass, broken-ass state. I mean, it's playable, but it still has a lot of bugs, and they'll never get patched. It'll never get
what do you
worked on
do in that
again.
situation besides like a group lawsuit thing? Like you can only ask Steam to refund it. They're going to be like, yeah, no, you went
No,
past
the Steam won't. Yeah,
45 minutes or whatever, 30 minutes of gameplay or
Steam won't refund games after a certain amount of time. I mean, there's been games where like I played the other day. It actually happened to me the other day. I bought a game on Steam. I don't even know what game it was. I bought a game, started playing it, and I was bored with it. I fell asleep on my computer with the game running,
Oh well, I haven't done
and
that in a long time.
I woke up like 9 hours later. Right, like it was the next day.
9
I woke
hours
up.
later. I
I
don't think I've
woke
ever
up.
slept that long on my PC.
I woke up like 9 hours later, Mayo, and the fucking game, right? I try to refund it because I'm like, this isn't fun. And Steam's like, no, bro, you played this for 9 hours. Fuck you.
You slept through your trial.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, lame, dude. So I'm like, whatever. I guess I own this game now. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Maybe I'll like it eventually. I don't know.
You have no choice now, right?
I have no choice, I guess.
Wait, what game was it for 9 hours or what? Do you remember what it was? I mean, it was that bad, right? You even forgot the name.
I'll pull out my Steam real quick. I know I
You
have it in
delete
here.
it off your feed now.
No, it's in here. It's in here.
You're like, fuck it, I paid for this game. I'm gonna play this piece of crap.
Airship Conquer the Skies, which is like, so it reminds me of like it looks like a cool concept, right? It came released in 2018. The concept is you are building these like airships that like are battling with other airships, and you can customize it however you want. The problem is the game is kind of fucking hard. It doesn't really tell you what to do, dude. Like there's a tutorial, right? And I clicked on the tutorial, but it's one of those tutorials, Mail, where like it shows you step 1, building the ship. Step 2, driving the ship. Step 3, command the ship. Like it has like 50 videos on how to do shit, and I'm like, I'm not watching these videos. I'm just playing the game. And I tried to play the game, and I was like, this is too fucking hard. I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I should have watched the tutorials. Fuck this. And I said, you know what?
It looks pretty crazy, like the video I'm watching of it. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. It's like all this crazy, like it looked cool, and I'm like, this looks like a Jesus game. Yeah, it looks like a Jesus
It has
game.
like some RTS elements, and you show like this side view thing that's fighting a robot. Now I see like this cannon tank thing on like wheels, and then it goes to some weird screen where people are like boarding, but like I don't know, it looks crazy.
Looks cool, right? But it's like I don't know what the fuck's happening. I don't know. So I said,
did you at least get it on sale? Because it's like $10 right now.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, so I think I paid like $10 for it. But maybe I don't know. Is it how much? How much is the normal price? Did I pay 25? I might have paid $25 for this.
Yeah, you paid full price for it at the time, right? Oh well.
Oh, fuck. Maybe I paid full price for this.
Nobody's getting
$25 nap. Jesus.
Not old.
I spend money on dumber shit, but still, like
$25 naps. Hey, I would maybe do it if I was tired enough. Be like, you know what? I need a nap. It's worth $25. Let me play this game.
Fuck you, man. That sucks. It really was like, oh man, I fucked up on that one. I really fucked up bad. I was like, oh yeah. It was one of those like, you know, like I'm tired, but I don't want to go to bed yet type moments. That's what it was. And I was like, I'm gonna play more games. And then I got bored of what I was playing, and I'm like, I'm tired of playing Call of Duty or whatever the fuck I was playing. I'm gonna buy a new game because for some reason I'm not satisfied with all these games I have or Game
Right.
Pass. I'm gonna buy a new game because that's real smart, Jesus. So I go to the store and start looking at random shit. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the Steam store. So this is how Jesus talks at the Steam store. I go to the Steam store. I go to your store. I go to home. I look at the main screen. I'm like, okay, these are all stupid games that I'm probably gonna buy eventually, or shit that I don't want. But I do kind of want Red Dead right now. Red Dead is only 15.
Yeah.
15. Anyways, I look at the thing and I'm like, all right, Supermarket Simulator. So I click on that. I'm like, how many friends want this game? Oh, two of my friends want this game. And Bill Garner is one of them. Maybe it's a good game. Blockster owns this and Nitron owns this. Maybe I should get this Supermarket Simulator game. And I start looking at the reviews and I'm like, overwhelmingly positive or very positive. And I'm like, And then I look at most recent reviews, Mayo. I look at the first one. And it says, graphics, good. Gameplay, good. Audio, good. Audience, everyone. PC requirements, potato. Game size, old fashioned. Difficulty, easy. Grind, too much grind. And I look at this review and I'm like, and then how many points out of 10? 9 out of 10. I'm like, okay. And this other guy says, best simulator game I ever played. Okay. With those two reviews, that would warrant my purchase
There
of
you
this
go.
game, man.
Right there, you go.
And then I'm like, I'll buy this game. Jesus will buy this game now. And then I buy it, and then I'll never play it. I'll play it once,
Right.
and then I'll never fucking play it again. That's why,
Do you
like,
have the unfiltered version of Steam? Like you to show you like all the games?
oh yeah. I'll have sometimes
Okay.
it'll be like
Oh,
naked ass chicks up in this
yeah,
bitch.
yeah. Hey, have you seen the new Helldivers game on there?
No, what is it, Sex Divers or something?
Yeah, it's called Sex Divers.
I knew
There you
it was
go, Jesus.
I think I knew it was gonna be Sex Divers.
$6.
I'm gonna look that up right now. Sex Divers. Oh wow. Oh wow. This is very wow, a lot of sex going on here.
Look at the reviews though. There's one guy said, he says it's basically Helldivers 2, Timo edition.
Oh man. Yeah, this is very what the so you actually are on the planet fighting the bugs, but there's also sex scenes in between?
I guess when you make it back to the ship, you get a reward. I don't know.
You get a reward for beating the bugs?
I don't really know.
Wow.
I just seen it because I went on what was new, and it was like the third one down, fourth one down. Even if you watch the little demo tab where like the splash screen reminds me of Helldivers, like they just like ripped.
I'm looking at the screen where they're actually fighting the bugs or whatever. Like the graphics look pretty decent.
Right?
Like they had money behind this, bro. The publisher's Octo Games. Let's see what they made. Oh yeah, of course. Everything is a sex game. They made a game called Cumverse. Cumverse and Sex Divers and Wild Sex Wet Girls, Sex Apocalypse 2, Sex Hotel, Lust Island, Universe
They know
Income
what they're doing, I
2,
guess, over there, right?
FAP Income, which is a $4. It's on sale right now. I'm at $4. I might buy that. It says here, Sex and Drill. Oh no, Sex and Drift. This is
In the
like a
video too,
racing game.
it shows like the little pods coming down and crashing on the video. Like
Wow. All right.
this has become the hero. And then
What
it
game are
goes,
we talking about here?
this is a come home on an early Thursday game, Gunny.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is called
I
Yes,
get a
Sex
lot of
good.
those. I'm unfiltered. I see a lot of those.
This publisher and developer has been out only since 2022, right? And since 2022, they've made. Let me tell you how many games they made. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 22, 24. They made like 41 games since 2022. They've made 41 games since
Yeah,
2022.
they're cranking out some
And
games.
and these games, like the graphics don't look like. I'm looking at their first game, which was called Furry Fantasy, which looks like a Candy Crush. Not
What kind of
too
game?
great, not too great at graphics. Okay, but let's look at like something in the middle here. Let's look at all right,
What's the talking?
College Sex Party, and the graphics are not like terrible, man. Like they must be using some kind of what do you call it, like an acid flip engine. like Unity or something, right? They have to be using something like that too, like because they all kind of look the same. All the games kind of look the same. Just some look a little bit better than others. Like the review here says, there comes a time in every man's life when he needs to take a look at himself in the mirror and wonder how exactly he reached such a place. You have to truly ponder what decisions you have made along the way that brought you to the place of your final reckoning. It is still unclear, even to me, why I purchased College Sex Party. There isn't anything wrong with that. With these nudity scenes throughout, it's perfectly stellar. But when you look at it as a choice, you realize just how flawed you and the rest of humanity is. What drove me to purchase such a game? What part of my soul felt so empty that I thought a virtual girl could fill it? When I look into the boundless depths of my own loneliness, I see a pool of reflection. My face isn't there. There is no face. There are only tears in that pool. Tears of shame and loss and confusion. If it were up to me again, I know I would purchase it in a heartbeat. I know I would load it up and skip through the countless window prompts so I can have a single morsel of pornographic images which are readily available online. Yet, despite the abundance of naked virtual women waiting in the digital sphere, I still chose to purchase this game and devote hours of my life to it. That time will never return to me. It is lost just like my soul, and just like the time I fear I may never find it again. There is something broken within me, something that desires sensation beyond my reach, something that whimpers every single night with the knowledge that there is no true princess. It is merely an illusion. In my pursuit to find meaning in this long life, I sought the colorful lights and sound of a world that only exists in a pop-up window on my computer. I am unsure of what the moral of this review is. I am unsure about my place within this universe. All I know is that no amount of virtual girls can cure the vast rot that has overtaken me. What the fuck? What kind of review is this? These are all pretty like it's mixed, recommended, not recommended, you know.
As most of these games are.
Yeah. I was looking at Sex Divers.
Yeah, that's when we were talking about.
Yeah. Now I see it. Yeah.
But these games, none of them are like super expensive. They're all like $10,
Yeah,
15
I mean,
bucks.
this is
So I
what
guess
$6. Jesus, give us. You should get it and let us know how it compares to Helldivers.
for
This is
research
we'll quote,
purposes.
yes, quote
Educational.
experiment, Jesus.
Entertainment purposes.
But yeah, these guys have a lot of games. This publisher, a lot of sex games, a lot of. I need to reach out to these guys and try to get one of their people on here.
You can
I'll
buy a
be like,
bundle. They have a
I'll be
bundle
like,
on here, Jesus.
I see it. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna find out where they're at. I'm gonna
I
try
mean,
to reach out to them.
they have a hot load bundle, Jesus. I mean, come on.
I'm gonna try to see if we can get one of their developers on here. I want to see what kind of research they're doing for the sex games. All right, we gotta know this. What are they doing over there? Are they like watching porn all the time? What kind of research are they doing, Gunny?
I think so,
Right?
right? That's probably what they're doing a lot of.
Do you think they're just watching porn?
Oh, you can get the DLC here. It's called Converse, $10. Hell yeah.
Holy shit! Norland got a new patch today.
Of course they
Holy
did.
fuck! They got city walls now. What the fuck? And they made their landscapes 3D. What the fuck? I gotta play it again. These motherfuckers, I'm telling you, man, this developer is on top of their shit. They know, like, this is truly a passion project. Like, I think they know this game is gonna be huge and big when it actually releases. It's gonna be like one of those, like Stardew Valley. Like, people are gonna fucking
I was
love it.
just gonna say Stardew Valley style type thing.
Like, people are gonna fucking love this shit when it comes out, dude. Like, these motherfuckers are on top of their shit.
Would you believe, Jesus, if I told you you have almost as many hours in Norland as you do in Helldivers?
Holy fuck, you looked at my playtime, 200 hours?
Yeah, you
Holy
got 200. You
damn.
got 200 hours in Norland. And you got 216 in Helldivers.
I love this game, dude. I'm telling
I
you.
can tell.
Like, it's so good. It's so fucking good. And I don't even have all the achievements yet. Like, there's a lot of achievements. And then, because the achievements just came out, like, with the last patch. So all these achievements that I have are just from me playing it in the last week or two.
That's always interesting to know what happens. Sometimes like games don't right away have achievements.
Yeah, they didn't
And
have
then
them in
next
the
thing you know, like
beginning.
later on, they get them, and you just all of a sudden they get all these achievements.
Yeah, like the problem is though when I loaded up my last game, my last save, it said it wasn't compatible. Like even with News Tower, when I loaded up News Tower this week, it said like my last save was from like October of last year, and it said your last save was incompatible with this game anymore because like the patches they did, it changes the AI. Like sometimes they do like AI behavior changes and like the pathing of the AI or something, and it changes it so much that you cannot use that old save, which sucks because that last tower I had was like a big tower, dude. It was fucking badass, but like now I can't really play it anymore because I had to start a new game. So that's a downside with like a lot of patches, right? Because sometimes they render your previous playthrough or whatever like useless. But
Yeah, you don't
Norland's
see that very often. Well, especially with the AAA, but yeah, definitely a smaller indie.
Norland
I can see that.
Norland has done it a few times where like some of their patches have really fucked with the AI, and they're like, "Hey, look, for you guys to like take full advantage of this new thing we invented or whatever, like this new whatever behavior we have the AI doing, we recommend that you start a new game, like just to make it work."
I think
Same
that's
with,
understandable for a game that's early access. Like,
but even like City Skylines has done that with some of their patches, where City Skylines is like, "Hey, look, we patched this, but like for like the new economy or the new fucking whatever to take effect, we recommend you started a new playthrough with the new city." It's like, come on, man! Like, you know how long it took me to build this city? Now I have to restart this shit and like do it all over. I guess, but I guess when you like the game, it doesn't really matter, right? Because like, I got 200 hours in this shit, so like it's worth
start
it
over,
for
you'll
me.
play another 100 hours.
Yeah. That's crazy though, man. I've never looked at my playtime on this game just because I like it so much.
Yeah,
I've
that's a
never looked
lot.
at my playtime. Still doesn't beat Call of Duty though with 447. Well, Battlefield is up there too though. Battlefield, they have 410 hours. Starfield 37 hours. It's crazy that I have 37 hours in Starfield and Remnant 2, which I haven't even beat yet. I have 35 hours.
I didn't know you. I don't remember you playing that. Did you just play it by yourself?
Oh yeah, I only played it solo. I
What's
think I
that?
got to the
The
third
Starfield?
Remnant
Oh,
2.
I couldn't get past the second biome thing or whatever.
I got to the third biome, like one where it's like an old timey village. That game was actually really well done. Brink still plays it a lot. He even got the new DLC. He said, um, and he says it's really good. But I haven't gone back to it. But it's a really fun game. Like Remnant
Especially
2 is
co-op.
actually a
I would
lot of
say play
fun.
that game co-op.
Even by yourself, it's fun. I don't know what happened where I fell off of it.
probably something new came out, as
Yeah,
usually happens to us, I think.
yeah,
We
something
always just
new
kind of
must
keep
have came
moving.
out, and it's kind of just moved on from it. But it's a
That's
really
what
good
happened to
game.
me. I remember getting it because it sounded really awesome the way you talked about it. And I played it just a little bit, and then something new came out, and we all jumped on that.
Yeah, I probably put
Yeah,
40 hours into it on Xbox.
yeah. Like I
Remnant
said,
2.
I did put a pretty decent time amount into it. 35 hours. I want to say if I go back now, I wonder if I could just pick up where I left off, or I have to like nerf it a little bit. Because
Yeah.
I probably would die a lot if I just pick up where I left off. Because like those enemies were kind of hard sometimes. Like the bosses were kind of hard. I remember it had like wasn't it? It wasn't like it was like a roguelite where like you lose everything, but you every time you fought a boss, if you died, it would reset all the enemies or some shit, right? That's what it
Yeah,
was.
right.
Is that what it was? When
And
you
it had
died,
like
it reset all the
bonfires,
enemies.
like in a Souls like. I mean, it is a
Yeah.
Souls like, but you kept all your upgrades, anything you bought back at camp.
Yeah. But you lost all your like souls or whatever, little points that you had captured, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, you had to go back to your dead body to get the stuff back or something.
I
Forget
think
how it was.
so. It's been a while.
It
I
wasn't as
believe you
hard
do
as
have to pick those
people
up.
it wasn't as hard as it, I guess people think though. Like it was pretty
I don't know. I
playable by
couldn't get
yourself.
past that part. I don't know what biome it was, but it was like where you kind of go up into this tower and you're fighting this boss on a tower setting or whatever. Like
Oh,
you
I
just
remember that one. I remember that one.
I
Yeah.
could not get past that.
That was the
Like
last biome I beat was that one, I think. Cause then after that you go into like
lasers everywhere.
space.
Like I couldn't.
After that you go into like this weird like cube biome where like you're like solving puzzles, but it's all like these like it's like environmental shit, like these cubes that are rotating in the sky, and like you have to shoot them a certain way and like
Yeah,
dodge them and like
I watched a guy on Twitch play through that. Like he was really good.
yeah. Yeah, it took me a while. Like what I loved about that game was that when I would go into something new, and I didn't know what to do. And then like all of a sudden it clicks and you're like, oh, this is what you have to do. That was the awesome part. I think that's why people probably like Elden Ring, right? Because like you get into it, you don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden it clicks and you're like, oh, hell yeah, I feel like a genius now because I just figured out what to do. You know what I mean? Like that moment when you clicks, that click. Fuck yeah! Like I know what I'm doing. I know what the fuck to do now. But yeah, that's all I played, man. What have you been playing?
Oh man, I've been playing quite a bit this week and half the weekend or whatever. This was not something on my list, but I was just remembering that Baldur's Gate 3, I fired that up.
I need to replay that. I need
I
to
think I
finish that.
did that a few days ago, and I'm like, okay, finally. I was thinking like, oh, do I want to play on the Steam Deck? But nah, the screen's kind of too small. Even though it's playable, it's probably even verified on Steam Deck. But ended up playing that on the desktop on Steam, I believe. Yeah, because I only bought it on Steam. And it's like, man, like I didn't do story mode. I did like the normal mode, and I really don't even know what I'm doing. Like as far as like like I don't know. Maybe I just suck at these kind of like isometrical RPG style type fucking games. But shit, I even died like not even like 20 minutes into the game. I was like, what the fuck, right? So then I do like how like when you go to reload the game or you can just do a manual save, you're not that far off from where you were. And I'll go in, make it a little further or, kind of past that initial, that fucking ship thing that you're on or whatever. And then I get my crew together. I got 4 people. Well, actually, I think somehow I ended up with 2. I think 2 fucking died or whatever. You just pick them up later on. And then like, man, I kept dying. Like these little creatures were like, I'm making sure like, I'm blessed. I've got, everything's kind of ready. I'm doing my secondary sort of thing of whatever, that second skill or whatever that you can do after your first initial strike. And it's like, fuck, it's still hard to kind of get through it. And, load it 3 more times. Oh, okay, finally you beat those little tiny ant fucking bug creatures or whatever. I don't know. I don't like that. I'm just like, maybe I should just go back to story mode or download some freaking mods or something to kind of make this game I feel like more enjoyable to where I'm not dying as much. Like, I don't know. I feel like that just kind of takes me out of it. So
yeah.
And then I basically got to the area where it's got like that breakable like cement area where the 2 guys are talking, and then like they kind of go away, but then your archer can like break through on that, and then you can kind of go down into this like little area, and then everybody knows like who's played this game knows exactly what I'm talking about, and that's where like these like 8 fucking bandits will like throw a fucking some fire at you or whatever, or light the ground on fire. So you're already starting off with like a little not a tiny bit of health or whatever, but everybody's kind of lost health because everybody got hit. And it's like, fuck, I just can't get past this part. I don't remember that playing this game at launch. Like, I remember just kind of getting right through there and, like shooting the fucking fire barrel and damaging them and finishing them off. And yeah, maybe I just need to go back to story mode, put it on baby mode because that's driving me insane. So yeah, I just gave up. Like, fuck this game. I give up. So yeah, not a good experience. Like, what am I doing wrong? And then like any video like I clicked on for like on YouTube, I'm like, okay, let's kind of look at like some tips and tricks for beginners or whatever. Fine. Like, I guess I have to go back to this because, I only played like the first 5 hours of the game at launch. I don't know. But then they don't really talk about it either, like in the beginning, which is kind of odd, right? They just talk about, the best way to play the game, like not exactly showing like actual gameplay, but like, everything about your skills and all the things you pick up. And I'm like, I guess I have to go watch a playthrough, which I hate doing, right? It's like, I'd rather play the freaking game than watch somebody else play it, unless there's a part where I'm really just stuck at, but anyway, yeah, I'll just probably just do that and maybe get some mods, get some fucking health potions and go with it. Frustrating as hell, but yeah, feel like I gave it another shot at it. But other than that, over on the Xbox Game Pass for PC, I saw that Diablo, but I actually heard about this that the original from 1997 is coming to Game Pass, and I'm gonna assume this is probably either over on the what is the Activision launcher over there on BattleNet or whatever. But I was like,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Battle.net.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
over there. But damn, Mayo, I'm over here playing with the mouse and keyboard, but I don't like these controls, and I'm not much of a retro gamer, so it's kind of like using your WASD keys, but like it's not like there's like an actual like uh melee button or whatever for your weapon that I know of. You just have to actually get close to them, Yeah, I don't know. I probably played about 10 minutes of this, 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done. So I feel like Diablo 2 remaster was probably as low as I'll go. Um, which I did pick up on Xbox, back at launch when it was remastered. So, and that game's pretty good. Like, but nothing beats like my favorite is Diablo 3. I feel like, I need those modern graphics with this newer
That kind
computer
of
that
game, yeah. I think that's the one I put the most hours in myself. Like that's the one that really kind of like sucked me in. A bunch of my friends played, 1 and 2, and I didn't really jump in until 3.
Yeah, me
I
too.
had a
Like
ton of time in it.
my first Diablo game was 3. So I'm like, oh, I love this freaking game. And then one of those things called there's the rifts and the other kind of mode that you can do. There was 2 of them, but I think the rifts were basically the co-op stuff that you can do that like basically grind for really good gear.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember we did like the in-game rifts where you could go like and try and get better gear, and you try to go higher difficulty and stuff.
yeah, and those difficulty levels were just like insane, super insane,
Yeah, it
psychopath.
would
Like
just keep
it just
going.
kept going up and up and up. Which I thought was cool. Like I was getting into it, but I didn't really know like, oh, I didn't know what green gear that I actually needed. But it was just more fun to just kind of get in there, wreck shit and okay, I'll just grab whatever this green gear is or, and try to figure it out like as far as like, what I actually need to be stronger. But yeah, that was a ton of fun. So I don't know. Does Diablo 4 have something like that? I assume they do have their kind
I
of
don't
rip.
know.
I don't
I didn't really
get
play
on
enough
there very
4.
often.
I got it with my Xbox. I just never really played it much, in all honesty.
Yeah, I do fire it up here on the Game Pass PC, which opens up the Battle.net app or whatever. That's what it kind of plays through. Yeah, it's part of your subscription, so it works. Yeah, I just kind of progress in the story. Like I feel like I'm just inching closer. But I still don't have a steed though. I don't have a horse, so I don't know when the hell do I even get that. So yeah, I'm still like just going around and oh, that's one thing I don't like, Mayo, is as you progress through, let's say I've even got like 15 hours into this game where it's got like that fog of war in Diablo 4.
Uh-huh.
But like, let's say you exit the game, whatever, it's all saved. All your progress is saved, your weapons or whatever. When you come back, it's still partly like, I feel like it's still even partly fogged out. Like they fog out so many parts. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. Like, and I guess if I had to just unlock a lot of those waypoints, the fast travels,
Mhm.
that's probably key to it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think that's what I had to do. I unlocked some, key points and stuff when I was playing it. But
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that there was maybe like some kind of glitch or stuff. And I'm like, why the hell is it like that? I've already unlocked the waypoint. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Diablo 3, like maybe things were a lot closer. I don't remember it being like a Diablo 4. I feel like it just takes forever in Diablo 4 to kind of get to your next objective. But or maybe they shouldn't have like locked the freaking steed or whatever in your, into the story, how it bakes in. So like it doesn't even talk about like how close am I? When do I get it? What mission do I need to complete? So it's like, geez, I'm just tired of running everywhere.
right.
But yeah. But yeah, Diablo original. I don't know. If you got some nostalgia, then yeah, go play that on Game Pass. I'm gonna assume that's probably on the console itself as well. Or if it's just on PC, not sure. A new game did come out on PC Game Pass called Ninja Gaiden Black 2. Did you play the original, Mayo or Jesus?
No, I played the original
I don't
Ninja
think
Gaiden,
so.
like the side scrollers. I love those in Super
Yeah.
Nintendo. Those were my
That was
favorite
like 1
games.
and
Like
2,
Way
right?
back in the day, right?
yeah, like the first 3. And actually on the one of the more recent Xbox events, I think it was,
Yeah, it was
they
called the
shown
Director.
a new side-scrolling Ninja Gaiden, and I think it's called Ragebound, and that'll be a must buy for me. Like, cause that's what I always liked about Dead Cells. It made me feel like
I think it's
playing the
Ninja
old
Gaiden
school Ninja
4, I think
Gaiden.
it's what it's called.
This one's called like Ragebound. It's like a side-scrolling one. They have a new Ninja Gaiden come out as well, but this one is a standalone side scroller.
I see that one you're talking about. Looks kind of cool.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's
I
right up
thought
my
Ninja Gaiden
alley.
4 cool. It's
It
gonna be
looks like it
released in the
plays
fall.
like the first 3, and it has some of the old classic weapons and stuff, so I was like, "I need to buy this game."
So what is like Ninja Gaiden? Is that making a comeback, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, because they just kind of like they just kind of dropped this one on that developer direct. Like
Yeah.
it's out today, available
That's
today
the
for Game
with
Pass,
the
and I
2?
guess for
Ninja
PC and
Gaiden 2
PlayStation.
remake or whatever it was? But that's
Yeah,
the
so this is
3D Ninja Gaiden, right? That's not like
yeah.
the old school Nintendo Ninja Gaiden, it's the second one that the remakes, whatever.
So this one's definitely like 3D, just like Ninja Gaiden, or whatever Black. But yeah, I never played the original one. I did watch some streams from somebody from our community from a long, long time ago. Watching them play this on the
I
Xbox.
did download this on Game Pass. I just haven't got to it.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I played it for I don't know 30 minutes or whatever. I feel like just playing it on normal was easy enough. Like yeah, I wasn't getting my ass kicked or whatever. It's just like feel like it's pretty simple with on a controller just mashing the Xbox or mashing the X button and then just LB for block and A to just kind of like jump around on the walls and evade other enemies. But I will tell you, like at first, man, like if you haven't played this in a long time, like the cameras, yeah, it's kind of like how like at the old style like camera action with this game where I'm like, wait a minute, wait, is that me or is that the enemy? I can't tell. Like it's definitely brings me back to like PlayStation 1 days. I'm like, huh? Like, no, shit, that's me. That's me back there. Like, that's not the enemy. How did I get over there? I must have jumped over there. So, yeah, it was kind of a trip. So, takes a little bit of getting used to because everybody's just wearing a fucking black ninja suit, just like you. So, where you're playing as Ryu and everybody else is kind of Ryu's brother here. I feel, but the combat feels really good. Yeah, it just like fucking slashing these the other ninjas up, man. It's cool. So, but yeah, check that out. Check it out on Game Pass. I believe it is available on PlayStation 5. Could be wrong on that. On everything. Moving on, Path of Exile 2. I think I'm level 16. Played a little bit of that this week, just playing as my archer. And yeah, I've kind of reached that point where I'm like, okay, I'm in this like library fucking like map thing, which is cool. So for anybody that doesn't know Path of Exile 2, it's just like Diablo. Think of it like that, except it's free to play. I think it might.
Oh, you what, pay to get early access right now? It's not free to play right now. Just the first
Oh,
one
it's
is.
not. I wasn't sure if it was 30 days or 90 days or when it was available. So I pay for the early access at launch, pretty close to launch.
Let me see if it is on Steam. I'll look.
Yeah. So that $30 that you get, you can actually just use all $30 in game to purchase, inventory space or yeah, mainly that I think, or maybe some costumes or something cosmetic, which I just used it all for just everything for just storage of like for all my weapons and gears and
Yeah, it's still
orbs and
$30 for they call it an early access supporter pack.
yeah. Yeah, there's a few little glitches or whatever, but for the most part, I've not really had much issues in this game, unless there's like a design thing where, like, so for example, I've got the arrow, I've got the quiver, I've been using it for the last, 15 hours of the game. I've probably, especially the quiver, where it's got the 3 arrows that come out, and I feel like if the enemy's too close to me, like just to say one enemy, I feel like for some reason, like it may not hit, like it's not contacting the enemy. Like it's weird. So I don't know if it's just like the arrows are not going out because I feel like one's going straight and two are going at an angle. And yeah, so then I can just mainly to kind of counter that, I just we'll just do like a right click on my mouse because I'm just playing mouse and keyboard, which you can play this with a controller as well. And then like I'm just dropping all these like arrows that are just electrocuting everything, so, which is cool. I just really like the setting of it. But yeah, I've gotten to this part where this part of the story where it's like, okay, I found the enemy and it's like this wolf that turns into this giant fucking bear character. And it kind of goes through the sequence, right? Just like in a Diablo where it's like, okay, now like, here we go. It's got this fog of war section this area where like, yeah, regular enemies will come out, right? Like your trash mobs, right? And then I'm just like freezing them and where I have this like freeze jump. Like I'll just throw down like a bunch of ice and kind of like hop back or whatever, which is one of the skills that I have, which is I fucking love that thing. And especially now, Mail, that I've gotten like a little further in the story, I may have to use that twice or 3 times to kind of like freeze the enemy because it doesn't exactly work the first time. They will take freeze damage, but they won't exactly like stop advancing or whatever. So yeah, and that's kind of cool, especially when the wolf fucking boss will come through like that fog area. Like, okay, at least I'm invading him. He's not doing any damage to me. But then like anytime I'm like he comes back and I'm just kind of like doing regular damage or using any other skills, where I'm dropping like fucking poison arrows or whatever, I can see like his health bar is just kind of like it's taking forever. So they're like, okay, do I need to go back and like do some more grinding to find better gear? Because I don't see anything really in the store that's going to help me. I may have to go find like a better bow because I don't have like a fully upgraded bow, where mine's blue, but I need like a yellow or gold or something, and then I can probably, advance that a little further or change the, like,
And isn't it more kind of more
change it
about
to where
like
maybe I'm
the
doing more
stats
fire
of the
damage on
gear
it.
than the color and the quality, right? Isn't it more about like, what the stats that are providing a little more
Yeah.
so? I mean, I'm assuming the more rare gear is gonna have better stats by default, but I think you could probably find some normal gear that has good stuff that you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like definitely I feel like it has like your kind of regular normal, and then it's got whatever they're calling it, right? I just call it blue. And then I believe it goes to like the gold. I think there's 3 kind of tiers to it. I could be wrong. I think that's a rare is the yellow or gold. And you're right. So then like the bow that I'm using is like a blue, right? It's kind of that mid tier. And then again, based on like, hey, this is a level 16, right? And I'm kind of looking at my stats of like damage 16 to 28, right? So then I'm kind of sticking with that one. And then again, like I have to use a bow as far as I know, right? I have not done a lot of research on this. So since I am an archer, yes, man, I can go in and start using a crossbow. But what starts happening is maybe the way the game has always been is if I start using a crossbow, it'll start dropping these orbs, right?
Uh-huh.
And then these orbs are kind of set up for to be like somebody with a crossbow, right? So it's kind of like you're changing kind of mid tier. I don't know if that's recommended or not recommended or kind of how that works. And is that my second class? Like, because again, you can just go in and get a wand, right, and start being a fucking mage or a wizard or whatever, and it'll start dropping these orbs. So yeah, I don't know. Am I supposed to do that? I have no idea, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Right. So then maybe I can be a fucking warrior and just because it'll drop everything. It's not like Diablo where it kind of drops stuff for you, right? For you and your class. No, this one drops kind of everything. Like fucking clubs and fucking it's got fucking shields and everything. So it's like, well, a lot of that stuff I either don't pick up or yeah, but it does have that feature where yeah, you can kind of create a portal, kind of back to the fucking stronghold and then just go sell all that stuff. But that can get a little monotonous, right? Because it does drop quite a bit of stuff and it takes up space really quick in your inventory. And there's no way to upgrade that as far as I know, or I haven't seen anybody, even in high levels, like just in your regular inventory. It's like Diablo, same thing. Yeah. So then I don't know, like, yeah, I'm not really grinding so much for like any kind of money, really. I'm just trying to get through a lot of the story and just kind of see how that plays out. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'll probably go back and do a little more grinding, but again, it does kind of show up where, yeah, this is your starting area. Kind of your where everybody is, right? Like your merchant and your healing well, and there's the blacksmith or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But like, but if you look at the map, it's kind of like, okay, these enemies are level 1 to 3, 4 to 9, 10 to 13. So it's not like you could really grind in those areas, because you would just kind of waste everything. You kind of have to maybe step back to, just one section over, or you can kind of stay in that area without fighting the boss, right? To kind of grind for gear. I assume that's the way it actually set up. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Enjoying it so much as I can. Just playing on desktop. I'm trying to think. Is it Steam Deck certified? It might be. Yeah. I did talk about this before, where I don't know. I couldn't find the right controller configuration for the game, so I ended up just playing with a mouse and keyboard. Yeah, like I think I just grabbed like the Xbox, or no, I hooked up my freaking my other keyboard to it. So that's what I did. Just played with mouse and keyboard on that. So it played fine. I don't know, whatever low frames, you're probably getting 26 frames a second.
But it's playable for to go.
Yeah, there probably is. There probably is a way of like, hey, try this because there's different configurations you can actually find in. I don't want to call it a store, but you know what I'm talking about, Mayo? Where you kind of click on that. Like, let me just bring it up here. Where
Yeah, you're talking about like the controller layout options and stuff.
yeah, like that, right? Like you kind of come in, and then I think it's the but the manage, right? Where you kind of go into manage on that wheel, and then I think
Yeah.
come down to properties, and then you go to controller. Oh, okay, controller configuration. Somehow I got there, but either way, so again, not too well on that. I don't do that too often, right? But there's that. Yeah, you can probably do it that way and find a better way or to kind of set it up to where you play it on a Steam. But let's see, what else did I play here? So I went to the house Saturday, Sunday, left
Mhm.
Friday night, and I don't know. I just played a lot of Vampire Survivors. Like I never really got as far as you and Jesus ever did, but
I
now I'm
never played it.
actually doing. You never played this game?
No, I know. I know of it, but I just never played it.
Yeah.
I
Like
played the I played the Deep Rock Galactic game, and I played the Brotato, but I didn't play this one.
yeah. So think like Brotato, but this one's the kind of the king of kings when it comes to
Right. It's kind of like the
bullet hell
original and
games.
the
Hmm. But I made it pretty far, and something I got to ask Jesus because I know he asked the same question when he was kind of getting into it, and that was like, "How do you kill the boss?" Like, I feel like I did meet the
yeah.
boss twice
I remember he
already.
played it a lot. 'Cause remember he made it to like the heavens and all that stuff, and he did like other stuff.
Yeah, and there's
He was
like
talking about how deep it was.
it's pretty deep, and then uh, I know that like I don't know how the other maps unlock; they just unlock or whatever. I don't know. They just do, right? It'll say, "Hey, new" or whatever, and then you can just play it. Like probably just maybe your progression or time that you put into the one map or whatever. Because I just been playing like the 3 maps so far, like which is like I just call it like the fucking first map, and then the second one's a library, and then the third one is like I don't know. There's like warehouses and pipes and shit or whatever in that third one. But like you can pick up like what are they called? Like they're not tomes or whatever. Maybe a relic or something. Like it'll say like, hey, it'll have like this little red thing. Like go pick up the relic. It doesn't tell you what it is until you actually go pick it up. So, but that's the roguelike option to it. So, and I assume that kind of stays with your character. But yeah, like I was playing today, man. Like just even on that first map where I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna meet the boss again. And usually what happens when the boss shows up, you last about a half a second. Like, whoa, like there was just like 10,000 enemies on the fucking map, right? Because after a certain amount of time, when you start choosing like your different power-ups and upgrades, like eventually it just stops, right? And then you only get 2 options where you can either do like a 50% health or hey, put all this money towards, coins. Like those are the only 2 options for your currency, for your actual upgrades at the start menu on the game. So I always just choose like, just, yeah, give me all the cash. I'll take the coins. They're free each time. So, right. Cause if when you got 10,000 enemies surrounding you, right, and your health's full, you feel like a god.
Right.
And like, but today I'm like, oh, I'm going to meet the boss. But then somehow, man, like I thought I had enough garlic and, the super fucking hack and slash fucking weapon and upgrade, and like they just annihilated me. So like damn, fuck, I was hoping to. Yeah, I'll probably have to Google that to kind of see like, am I progressing it right? Do I need to play the other maps? Does that get me further? To yeah, to help me beat the boss in the first map, or yeah, cool stuff. I've done a lot of upgrades to my character. I'm just playing as like Antonio, who's just like he's got whatever, like a fucking sword or whatever.
Right.
And then you can always add other things or what is it called, like the holy saint water or something like that, where it just kind of just drops down and then like you upgrade that thing and just like annihilates the enemies. So much fun. Besides that, this is something that Crafty had recommended, and so shout out to Crafty. He does the video game happy hour podcast. So
Yes.
search that up for BGHH and yeah. So Dungeon Crawler. So I had seen this. I don't know if I talked about this or not last week, but like, so yeah, this is like a roguelike claw machine deck builder, but you're not using like actual cards as you are just kind of like you're just kind of picking things out of the actual machine itself. And so yeah, this game's a lot of fun. I put quite a bit of time into it. So but it's just like I'm trying to think of another game that it kind of reminds me of. Shit. I know it's in my inventory here, so trying to find that here. another dungeon fucking card game. But yeah, it's cool. So then you kind of get 2 turns, right? So then you can pick up shields, and you kind of maybe you'll get like 2 different shields or a large shield or whatever. You pick up with the claw, drop it down, and that'll kind of buff your character, for the enemies, and it'll show you like that. Hey, like they're ready to strike against you, or they're gonna buff as well with shields. So yeah, like you're not sure if like, should I go for the weapons in the claw machine, or do I really want to try and grab oh, look, there's a shield next to an actual like sword, right? So then you can try to grab both of those. So at least you're doing a little bit of damage at the same time, at the same time, like protecting yourself. So, but yeah, you'll kind of get through like that. And it's just like, you kind of move on to the next section. And being roguelike, it's kind of like you don't know what you're going to get, but it's not exactly like, oh, this part's going to be really difficult or whatever. It does get harder. And you can have like, it'll take you to like a different store where you can upgrade your weapons, or some place where, hey, you want to get rid of something that's part of your deck. Like maybe you have like these small shields or the small daggers or something, which I don't think I've ever done. I think maybe the reason for that might be maybe as you get in higher levels, like you've kind of got so much crap, that drops into the machine. But as of right now, like I've only made it so far to where, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of is it like level 10 or something like that is usually as far as I get, where I just end up dying. Yeah, I don't know the progression of this game. Kind of like, what do I get to keep, or yeah, I'm not sure how that all works. But I'll continue to play it and see how my character progresses. Or do you kind of always start from 0 with that character? I'm not even sure. So
Right.
but it's fun though. I did play, I think a different character had like, oh, it'll drop 1 claw, and then it has like a magnet is kind of your second. So the magnet will pick up like obviously weapons, right? Like a large fucking hammer or whatever it might be. Or anything metallic it'll pick up. Like I think there's like a lead fucking bar or something, which is like an extra block, or but there's some other stuff they kind of throw in there as well. Like it's got like this like I want to call it like this sticky thing that'll drop down, but it's not every single time, right? It's like a buff, like a perk you can pick up. It's like, oh, cool. I know that's going to happen at least one time during the match, where I can pick up a ton of stuff, drop at the machine, and kill these different characters. So, but let me just back up a little bit. So when it kind of starts out, I think the way it works is like, if when you go to the next batch and the one after that, like I think the things that it dropped into the machine are just kind of like random. So it could be like, oh, like it drops these little red things, and those are like, that'll be like your power or something like that. Like, oh, you get extra strength. So for each hit or kill that you get. And then it just kind of keeps adding to it. But it's fun. I like it. Good fun on the Steam Deck. Played a bunch even here, sitting here at this desk. So yeah. What else? Anything else? A game, Mayo, I know that you played, which was called Sworn. Do you remember this game?
Yes, I liked it.
SWRN. So then there's a demo, but I did get like the email or whatever. It said, hey, do you want to be part of the playtest or blah, 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 whatever?
Yeah, I remember getting that email, and my son really liked the game, so I sent him information about it too.
Yeah. So this is like what, Hades 1 and 2, basically, and then there's a plethora of other games that are in the same vein of isometrical, RPG, or roguelike hack and slash games. I don't know, Mayo. I just don't know. Can't seem to get into the like Hades 2 or even like this game. I don't know. Like maybe it's just I'm getting old, Mayo. I think is what it is. Like, where
is that
like,
what it is?
I think so. I keep backing up into the spikes, I'm like, or I'm just doing it a little too fast. I think I just have to slow it down a bit, where I'm not like just moving around the map so quick of like strike an enemy, fucking shoot a projectile, move, right? Like, depends, because it's not like these areas are very large, What's that game that you're playing now? Like,
yeah, I'll talk about more in my time. Windblown.
So Windblown, it kind of like, I feel like in Windblown, I know when I did watch you play some of the boss fights, like, yeah, you can't exactly like move around too much during those, but during the whole gameplay, like normal gameplay, I feel like you can really move around without, taking damage from some fucking thing on the ground or whatever. Like, I don't know. I got to change my fucking brain thinking when I play this, where like, yeah. And again, not every single map like had the fucking spikes coming out of the ground, but yeah, it drove me insane, where I'm like, like, damn, I keep I keep backing into them or going sideways into it. So yeah, but I'm sure if I played enough of it, again, played with controller. So I think I even tried it with mouse and keyboard to see if that would be a little bit different because
Uh-huh.
it's not like there's a lot of, it's really just like your two main are like, your kind of light attack and fast attack, right? So yeah, I have to switch it up and just do like a mouse and keyboard, or it's probably just like a keyboard game. Who knows? But there's that. There's a demo on Steam. Anybody can check that out. I think it's co-op, 1 to 4 players, or yeah, 1 to 4 players on that. And same with Windblown, but I'm sure you'll talk about that more after.
Yeah.
The only thing else I played was Biomutant. I picked that up on Xbox because I was up
That's
at
a
the
fun
house.
game.
Yeah, I missed it at launch. There was so much out at the time, and I saw this game and I was like, "This looks cool," But I was like, "Nah, I got so many other games to play." But now that it's $10, I'll get it, and it
I think I
feels
paid full price for it back in the day.
yeah, it was probably 59, $60 back then. I don't know who makes this game, but yeah, or who the developer is on it, but or what kind of score it even got. But I think I saw Andrew Zek. He was in our messenger chat or whatever. I think he said he picked it up, or was it who else picked it up? Somebody else. So yeah, check it out. Biomutant. You're playing as a mutant raccoon, but your name is not Rocket.
Right?
So
Yeah. It's kind of that
yeah,
hack and slash kind of.
yeah, it's hack and slash, and you have a gun. So I think it's just like right trigger for whatever weapon you're holding, which is more like a machine gun. I feel like yeah, and like you just have like a small knife thing. So it's probably more like a sword in a raccoon's hands. But yeah, it's a lot of jumping around, and you got the parry block, and yeah, shoot shit and hack and slash, and yeah, it's cool so far. So I feel like it's easy. It's an easy gunny game. Play it on normal. But yeah, other than that, that's all I played. Oh, Mayo, I did finally watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, so that made me think of Raccoon or Rocket.
Oh, yeah, you watched that one?
Yeah, I just watched it last night, like finally. So it was good. It was a very good movie. So if you're, I will say this, like, man, if you were an animal lover or like just have like a lot of compassion for people, like these movies are for you. So I will say that, like, man, like I was getting a little emotional, watching this. And man, I tell you, I do not like Gamora. She
Oh,
is a
really?
bitch. I mean, I understand that's her character. She's just cold as ice. Like I
Right.
get what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I kind of get it. Like, well, kind of what happened to her. So, but yeah, I didn't like her then even. So she just has that fucking scowl on her face all the time, and just no heart. I don't see what Peter sees in her. Damn it. Anyway, that's my.
There you go.
Other than that, it was a great movie. What have you been playing, Mail?
The game I've been playing the most is Back to Balatro, and I just keep loving this game more and more. It like sucked me in here recently. I was watching somebody play it, and just a couple things kind of clicked as I was watching them play it, and so then I learned to manipulate the deck way better because I could never beat it on the normal settings. Like I could go in and just try to play this game, and I could never like get the whole all 8 antes, and I'm like, I just don't know why. I'm like, I know a lot of other people have gotten through these and how they unlock the different scenarios and stuff like that, but I could just never get through them. And then finally, it kind of clicked, and I figured out how to like manipulate my deck a lot better. The last run I was running, I was basically be able to add a ton of clubs to my deck, and then use these one planet cards to convert cards to clubs. And so then it just made it so I had so many more clubs in my hand, so I could start running flushes and stuff like that so much more often. And then I would start, like focusing on straights too. I could almost get like a royal flush as well, because I would just have so many of that suit in my hand. Like I could just keep adding to it. And I learned how you can move some of the jokers around, and it changes the order that they trigger, and you can multiply things by then. So I learned so much more in this game. Like it just kind of grew on me. And then it helped being able to take it to work. Like I've been working a lot. And then so I put it on the Steam Deck. It's an easy game to play in the Steam Deck and just to sit back and play. I had it on my phone as well, but it's just too small on my phone. So I'm just like, I'm gonna play it on the Steam Deck. I also bought it on the Switch. I have this game like on the Steam Deck. I have it on the Switch. I have it on my phone, and I just keep picking it up for some reason and just keep wanting to play it. Just that determination to get through it. And it's such an easy game. Just clicking on the cards and figuring out what you want to play. You can kind of have it going on in the background while you're doing other things. And so it's just a very kind of chill game. So that's That's one game I've been playing like quite a bit of. Like I'm determined. I've gotten all the way to the very last ante, basically to the last blind, and that's like the boss blind and the last boss to beat it, and I come just short. And it's like, oh, then it just makes me want to play it a bit more. So then I'm like going through and playing it more often and stuff. But I got a feeling within the next week I'll have moved on and beat it, and then like got some of the different card decks because there's different decks you can play that add to the difficulty or change it up. And I started getting into those. Another game I played just a little bit of, and Jesus, this is more of like just a, I guess, curiosity kind of thing. I rearranged my bedroom and I moved the one extra OLED I had into my bedroom and put it on my desk. So I have this 55-inch OLED as a third monitor, and so I fired up that Empire of the Ants game, and to watch that on the OLED because it's such a photorealistic looking game, anyways. And I'm like, I want to see what this looks like on the OLED. Playing it with the controller, kind of sitting back because it's on a TV monitor, and the game looks so good. And
Yeah.
I was kind of messing around, I went right in the settings right away, and that is a game that uses the AI frame generation now.
What game is it?
Wow, really?
Empire of the Ants. So it
Oh
has
yeah,
it
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
and I did enable all that. And it said you needed a 440 series card, which I had, and I had to enable something on Windows, and it told me, and I enabled that on Windows, and
I think
on
I did too.
4K, Jesus, and 4K with the game on max settings, on running true 4K, not running anything dumbed down. It's running like 200 frames a second with that AI frame generation on.
That's crazy.
I have
So-
some news on that later.
So hopefully this is like they're talking about that in the new card, that this is going to be a good thing where it anticipates what your frames are coming up and all that stuff, and it just keeps the games running smoother. So, but I just wanted to see what it looked like with that, those OLED clarity, and it's just like I want to see what this game is going to look at, and it looks so good and it plays so smooth. So I have it hooked up to a newer HDMI, so it's running 120 hertz, 4K. And it just looks great with the perfect blacks and everything. So I'm like, this is just awesome. But I haven't played the game a whole lot yet because it's a hard game to get into. I think as good as the game looks, it's so quiet and it's so kind of chill. It just makes me tired. It's like one of those games, Jesus, where you said you fell asleep playing it. Like I feel like I could fall asleep playing this game sometimes because it's so
I use
quiet and
Spotify
so-
when I play this game.
Yeah, I might have to do something like that because it's just so quiet and so chill.
Yeah,
You had
yeah,
this
it's
little
very
click noise
relaxing.
of the mouse or the ant walking around, and you're just
Yes,
like,
and the crunching on the
yeah,
crunching
it's
and
just like
crackling.
it's like some ASMR type stuff, and you're just sitting there like you're in nature.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I would
I'm
say if
done.
you've got like some kind of arachnophobia or whatever, like you
Yeah, I
probably
wouldn't
are
think
like,
you'd be able to play that, or fear of bugs, because it does make them
yeah,
look very good, and the size of them and all that stuff. You're like, holy
like
cow! And I know there is spiders in this game. I have not come across them yet. I haven't gotten
I
that
don't
far into it.
think I have either. But like some of these, I mean, they're just the different ants or whatever and beetles and
But it's such a cool looking game, just graphics wise. I know it's on the PlayStation and the Xbox and stuff as well. But that's pretty much all I played on the PC. I still have been playing Metaphor ReFantasio. I haven't played it a lot this week. I still have not beaten the last boss. I just been kind of leveling up a little bit. And I did experiment. Maybe Gunny, you can tell me this since you've had both for like the longest time. And I don't purchase games on the Xbox very often, right? And I had purchased Metaphor on the Xbox Series X, and I was playing in my living room. And last week when we were sitting there talking, I pulled it up on my PC on the Xbox app, and it shows it in my library, and it let me install it, and it actually lets me play it on my PC. So that kind of gave me like some value of like maybe buying a game on Xbox and then I can still play it on my PC.
wait,
It
how?
was kind of cool. I didn't know they did that. I don't remember.
No, that's not a thing. You might have. I think you installed like a demo or something
No, it's
because it
the
is
full
not.
game. It even took off right where I was at. So the save
Wait,
file
so
transferred to and everything. I'm right at the end game, right on my PC.
I think I know what you did. So then, yeah, you're talking about the Game Pass, right?
Maybe it's the Game Pass version, but since I bought the game, it's letting me play it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I bought the
yes,
game outright, and I've been playing it, and I don't have Game Pass anymore. So it's not.
right.
I know it's not playing it off of Game Pass, but it let me install it right away, and I've been tinkering around with it on the PC. So
Or it could have been like the Windows Store thing because I notice on PC, Xbox PC Game Pass PC, that there is a store, but obviously not everything is available like third party wise, where you can purchase it and play them.
on both
So that's
or something.
correct. So correct. So that if I trying to think of an example, but when I say everything, not every third party game is on there. So I'm just going to go to the store right now because I'm like, I actually thought of that same thing where I'm just trying to think here of something that's on here, but maybe like, yeah, I don't know, because a lot of this stuff here is like, yeah, a lot of lawnmower simulator, right? So I assume if I buy this here for $5.99, like I can play it on here because it is on Game Pass as well or whatever. That I can launch it on here, and it would be available on my Series X and my S, right? Because it's part of my Xbox purchase history.
Right. And I've never known it to do that before. Like with my PC games, I've always just bought the games on the PC, and
Yeah,
then like I pretty much kept my big game or my Xbox as like a Game Pass machine. I didn't buy too many stuff because I just didn't really play on it a ton, and I was always on my PC more. But then like with a game like Metaphor, I was like,
yeah,
I'm
it's
just
on
gonna be in
here.
my living room a lot more. I'm just gonna be playing it in the living room. I didn't even think about playing it on the PC. And then when we sat down last week, I'm like, oh, it's showing up on here. And then I click on it and it's like install. And I'm like, okay. So I hit install and it installs like the 50 gig of the game. And I hit play and it took me right to where I left off in the game on the Xbox, like right toward the end game. And I was able to run around. I adjusted the graphic settings and everything. And I was like, oh, cool. So maybe it's not like the like how we see the different version of the game between the Steam version and the Xbox version or something like that. I'm probably running like the Xbox version. But it was just a nice little caveat to be able to sit there and play on the PC if I wanted to play in my living room or my bedroom, but I could
Yeah,
also play it in the living room. So like maybe I'll buy a few more games on the Xbox and see if it continues that way, where I can play on both the PC and the Xbox. That'd be kind of nice because that would add some value to it to me that in that way.
yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I would certainly think that probably because it's available on like what do you want to call it, the Windows Store, Windows 11 Store, 10 Store.
Mhm.
Right? I bet you that's why, because it's probably on there, like available through that app as well, which works with the Game Pass app. So
Yeah, so that was kind of a surprise to me. So, but like I said, I still haven't played it a ton. I just known I had to grind a little bit to go to the end game. That's something I'm planning to doing this week as well, and just to get that finished and kind of like done with it. I have like maybe like 70 hours in the game. I'm like, okay, I need to just kind of knock that out and go do that last boss. And then the last game I've been playing, I picked it up right after the holidays, and I haven't played it a ton. I would play it in between Metaphor and some other things, and that was the actual Astrobot game. I think it's just called Astrobot maybe on the PS5, and I've been enjoying that, even though it's a very simple like kid like action platformer. It is kind of fun. The controller, like how the controller interacts with everything, and you had like the monkey suit, and you have like the different suits that do different things, and all the sounds and the effects that go through the controllers and the haptic feedback. So they just really utilize everything so well in that game. But so I'm just like, this is kind of cool, and so I just picked it up because it was something fun to have, and kind of one game of the year. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just pick this game up, and that way I have it in my library.
yeah, it does look like a lot of fun. I've seen little bits of videos, and I'm like, man, I might pick up a PS5 one day. I'm gonna stop watching this video because this game does look like it's a blast to play.
Yeah, I think it's fun. Actually, I've only done, let's say, I don't know how you want to say it. Like, there's like these when the game launches, it kind of has these like planets, and then there's submissions in each planet. I've done like two of the planets 100%, and
Okay,
there's maybe
yeah.
like 8 or 9. So like the first two worlds I've like 100%ed, and then there's some like hidden stuff too. So you go back and find all the hidden stuff, and you get the puzzle pieces and all that stuff to go back and find. So I just been working my way through it and enjoying it quite a bit. I don't know, Jesus, if you enjoyed those kind of games or not. If you enjoyed the demo, it came with the PS5. But
Yeah, it was all right.
yeah, it's a lot more of the same, just more of it. Like just more worlds, more creativity, and just more of the same.
I feel like I don't know if anybody's ever said this, but I feel like Astrobot is kind of like, I don't want to say PlayStation's new Sackboy, but it is the new. It reminds me of the Sackboy back from PlayStation 2 days of like they're kind of their mascot games. So which are on Steam nowadays. Like I noticed even the last one was not on PlayStation 4 for very long, like before they even put that on Steam. So which were games which were really cool. I used to like those even back on the PlayStation 2, even the PS3. So Sackboy Life, good little platformers.
But yeah, and that's pretty much all I've been playing. Just a little bit of the Astrobot here and there, and the Metaphor, and like I said, a lot of Balatro, and Windblown. Also, I've been playing Windblown. We kind of mentioned that earlier. That game, if you liked Hades, it's a lot like Hades. It adds a little more creativity to the combat, and where you can mix two different weapons together. So once you start finding some of these blueprints like you would in Dead Cells, and I say Dead Cells because it's from the same developer. So the guys that made Dead Cells.
It's a top-down Dead Cells game, right?
Yeah. So they made it like a Hades version of Dead Cells. And so you do have blueprints like in that game, and you will unlock those as permanent upgrades. So you'll get some new weapons and stuff, but you can also find some like side abilities. And just like Dead Cells, you'll have two primary weapons, or like a primary and a secondary. Then you'll have two like side abilities. And then you can always swap them out. You can always get upgrades to them. And then, you'll go through and you'll collect what they call cogs. And that's basically like your currency for upgrading stuff when you go back to the main base. You collect those, you get halfway through a level, you can upload them back to your base so you don't lose them. And then you continue on, trying to go and beat the boss, and the boss will continue to the next world and stuff like that. And you just want to try to get further and further and further. The game is still not 100% done. It's kind of like the same thing they did with Dead Cells. Like, it was on PC forever. And then when they finally like made version 1.0 is when it came out to console. And that's what they said their plan for this game was. So it's a PC only game right now. And when it eventually comes to 1.0 is when it'll come out on the consoles. But it grabbed me a little better than Hades 2. I wasn't a big fan of the Hades series, but I like that kind of game, so I've had both of them. But just the art style and then just the way it plays, I like Windblown a little better. So I've been playing through it. And less dialogue as well. Hades had that really like tons of dialogue, which I know like Gibbs really liked, but I'm not as much of a fan of the dialogue. Like sometimes I just like trying to skip through it because I just feel like it's filler. I'm like, I just want to get through, do another run. I don't need to care about the story between this and that character so much on those kind of games. But that's
nice.
That's it. Like I said, Windblown's a lot of fun. I'm not sure.
I'll pick that up, Mayo. I'll pick it up eventually.
And we can play that multiplayer too. That's kind of the fun thing about that game too, is you can play multiplayer. You can play up to 3 people.
You can carry me for sure.
There you go. Yeah, we can play some together. Yeah. I have lots of potions and stuff, so I can get a lot further.
And we should play Sworn together.
Option. So I think I can literally buy potions for you and drop them, and buy gear, and you can drop them for each other, which is great. If one person doesn't have a whole lot of money going into it or something like that, you can buy it for each other. But yeah,
okay,
that's all I've been playing. So it's like news time, Jesus.
Well, news time, but before news time, I have one more quick game that I want to talk about, and that is it's a mobile game. It's actually on my phone and on the iPad. I've been playing a game called Bad Credit.
Oh, this sounds like life.
That's me. No, kidding.
And now listen, Bad Credit is a little game. Like, it reminds me a lot of Papers, Please, where you are a like a guy that got hired by a loan company, and your job is to approve or deny people's credit applications for like a loan on like a car title loan or whatever.
Okay.
So you start off pretty much like day one is pretty simple. All you have to do is match the people's names and make sure their name matches with like the application and the title, that the name matches, right? And then you approve their loan or deny it based on that. Then like as you progress each day, the game gets harder and harder. Like, they tell you to do more things, right? Like, now you have to check people's ID. You got to make sure they have an ID with them. And then you got to make sure it's an ID that's not expired. And you got to make sure that they're not under 18. And you got to, like, every day it adds like a new thing. Like, so you got to still check for their name to make sure their name matches on everything. But now you're also checking their IDs and their dates on the IDs and the birth dates. And it's a lot like Papers, Please. And I don't know what the end game is. I don't know, because it says you start off as a temp, you're a temp worker, and it says you have 14 days to prove yourself, and then once the 14 days is up, you become a regular employee, I think. So I don't know where the game goes from there. I'm like on day 9 on my phone, and on the iPad I'm on like day 5. But yeah, the game is pretty cool, man. It's like a little like simple ass graphics, like pixelated graphics. But it's kind of fun. Just like, it's like Papers, Please. You have like when like eventually you have to look at people's car values. You got to make sure their car value is higher than what they want from the loan.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to look up on your computer the car value. You print that out, then you got to make sure it all matches and it's all good. So each application starts taking a little bit more time. But yeah, you can actually buy upgrades to your computer, like these apps that are like one of them automatically prints out the car value. So as soon as they walk in and they hand you the paperwork, the computer's already printing out the car value. So without you having to even look it up, you already have that printed out or whatever. But there's also other upgrades like one of them is like buying a bank account. So you buy a bank account for $500, and every time you deposit your money into that bank account, it's saved, but it's saved on a new playthrough. So like if you lose the game, say you like, because if you fill an application or you miss something, like, oh, that person's birthday didn't match, or that person was under 18, or that person their paperwork wasn't correct and you fucked up, you get so many strikes and then you're fired, right? Like the thing's 3 strikes and then you're out. But if you have a bank account, you can deposit all your money every day. The bank takes 20% of the money you deposit. So you deposit 1,000, they keep 200, but you have 800 in the account. But when you do a new game, all that money can transfer over to the new game. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the benefit of having that bank account. But there's other things you can upgrade too. Like you can upgrade other stuff. I forget what the other shit is that you can upgrade. But it's a pretty fun little game. It's called Bad Credit. It's a free game on iPhone. There is like a purchase thing where like I don't know what the purchase is for, but there is like a microtransaction in there for something. But I haven't seen any ads in the game or anything like that. It's just like a free game where it's like kind of fun, and it's kind of weird to see like it's rare to see these apps released like this where they have like no ads and shit. You know what I mean? So that's kind of rare.
Probably yet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Till they
because
add them. Till they
get popular, right? They start adding
Yes,
them. Yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
For sure. Watch this video to get
yeah.
free
Watch this
time playing the
video.
game.
Watch this video so you continue to the next day. You know what I mean? Like that type of shit. I would get so annoying.
Right.
But yeah, I really enjoy the game. It's actually a lot of fun, man. So I recommend checking it out. It's called Bad Credit. That's all it's called. And I tried looking for it on Steam. Like I thought, this is on mobile. Like
yeah, but it's a mobile game. It's usually on Steam, right?
Usually should be on Steam, right? But it wasn't on Steam. There's another game on Steam called on Steam. There's another game called I think it's called Bad Credit also, but it's a completely different game. Like you can tell it's not the same people that made it, because this game, the one on Steam, came out in 2021 or 2022, and it's way different. Like the aesthetic is different. It's just a different thing. Like it's not the same at all. Whereas the one on iPhone, it's kind of just like Papers, Please, man. Like you have a desk and the papers get put on the desk and you can move them around, and it works really good on phones because it's just like Papers, Please works really good on phones. Yeah, it's easy to look at all the documents and stuff. Pretty fun little game, dude. If you guys like Papers, Please, just play this. And people complain when you deny them. They're like, "Oh my god," like people complain about their fucking shit or whatever. Like, what am I gonna do now? But then when you approve the loan, it'll be like a $7,000 loan, and it's like, all right, you're gonna repay back fucking. Set your payments are like $400 or $500 for the next 72 months. You're gonna pay me back $30,000 for letting you borrow $5,000 or some shit. Like these people these people have really bad credit, I think.
They really want a loan,
And they really want a loan. Well, I said they're putting in their title as like a collateral, like it's like a title shop, like a title loan place or something. Because
you're like a loan shark over there.
Yeah, they're like pawning their titles to their cars to you and shit. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, it's a little game I wanted to speak about. Anyways, move on to some more news now. It's news time.
Beep, 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 beep.
We got some news for you, ladies and gentlemen.
New sound audio for the news.
News. Okay, let me look it up here. All right, here we go. So, Doom, The Dark Ages, and Claire Obscure Expedition 33 are set to receive enhancement boosts when they launch on the PS5 Pro. That's right, Gunny. Both titles will benefit from the extra polish and power processed by the latest iteration of Sony's console. The PS5 Pro offers a slate of hardware advantages with the base PS5, including higher frame rates, better rendering capabilities, and enhanced overall performance. For the two titles, Mark, the latest in a suite of games that have already received the PS5 Pro enhanced treatment. Sony has confirmed that many more will follow in the wake of the release of its beefed up console at the end of last year. With well over 50 games already undergoing a PS5 Pro remaster and many more in the pipeline, gamers will have a lot to look forward to in the near future. You know what, guys? I'm thinking about getting a PS5 Pro here soon.
Oh,
The
yeah.
PlayStation Pro is winning, man.
Yeah,
They are winning. They're eating
I
good.
kind of want one. I don't know why. I kind of want one just to get it. And I think I'm gonna trade in my PS5. So I think I'm gonna have to go to GameStop, a place that haven't been
Oh,
to
you're
in
gonna give a
years.
GameStop some business, are you?
Well, what
Get
am I supposed to
$200 for
do?
that PS5, man.
What am I supposed to do with my old PS5? I don't
I
want
know,
it.
I get it. Sell it online. Do those
Do
little
you?
back alley deals. Be like, "Hey, I got a PS5 for you.
Hey kid,
We'll meet at the back alley."
hey
Come meet
kid,
me
I
at
got
the
a PS5 for
Shady
you.
Grove Park.
And then get beat up by a bunch of kids for my PS5.
Yeah.
Get shot, shanked, and stabbed.
Let's see here.
You could
PS5
sell it for
costs.
extra. You could be like, "Hey, this PS5 was owned by a podcast host of video games.
Ooh,
It's
I
signed
auto"
by
Yeah, I was gonna say you could
Jesus.
autograph the side
Walks a
panel and
lot.
be like,
ooh, you're right.
"Y
Um,
get some extra
yeah, I don't
value."
know. I don't know if that'll work out for me very well. But let's yeah, I'm looking at a trade-in value right now for a PS5 console, Mayo. Regular, I get up cash, Venmo, or prepaid MasterCard up to $192.50
Damn.
or $275 store credit.
Game rob, more like.
So that drops it down to what, 425 for the Pro? It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Because we're at 700, right?
Yeah.
I forget that thing is that's expensive,
Isn't
dude.
that crazy? It's like, "Whew."
How
It's
many
so
terabytes do you
expensive.
get? Do you just get the 1 terabyte?
Yeah, it's the 1 terabyte. No, it's two.
Is it one or two? I can't remember. It's probably a terabyte. They probably try to keep it under, like it would have been 800 if it was two.
Let me look it up right now. Pro console. Let's look at the specs. The specs. No, you get 2 terabytes of storage.
Oh, that's pretty good then.
Yeah, two
Well, yeah,
terabytes. That's
I
good,
would think
man.
with a Pro,
Yeah.
like you're probably getting probably just extra shit they got to add in to your game with like for fucking ray tracing and shaders and this and that. You probably are going to need 2 terabytes, right? Maybe the more stuff that you add, when
Yeah,
it comes to like 4K and pisser tack and all this crap, like these games are probably more in size, like versus a PS5 or Series
Yeah,
X.
I don't know if they would be bigger or not on the PS5 Pro. Like they're probably just the same size game as a PS5 game.
Maybe
They're
a
just gonna
little
run
bit
better.
bigger.
Yeah, I would think a
Yeah.
little bit bigger though. I don't know. I'm just thinking, to run the pisser tech, like, yeah,
Listen,
you
man,
add
I
20
could probably
more
more
gigs
built
to
in.
each game.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, the extra heart, the extra space would be nice.
What do you guys think? I should trade my PS5 in? Look, if I become a Pro
You said
member,
up to 425. I mean, yeah,
well, that's what they'll give you, I'm sure. Like they're usually
I
pretty
would say
spot
this
on
for
these
anybody that
prices.
wants a Pro, like especially a PS5 Pro at this time. I would say like, hey, if you've got like an OLED or Q dot plasma TV, then 100%, right? You'd get that visual enhancement.
Look, if I become a Pro member, I get up to $302.50.
You don't get the Game Informer magazine anymore. They shut that shit down.
How much is a Pro member? Let's see here.
It was like 30.
25 a year. So it'd be the cost that I'm paying for this would be what I get extra.
You get a discount on their fucking plushie toys.
Well,
Right?
it's just that
You can buy all
and
the
the
pop
Pokemon
caps that you
cards.
want, or not pop caps. What do they call them? Funko Pops.
No, listen, no, and then guess what? Look, I could put in my $5 welcome reward towards it, and my $5 monthly reward towards it, because you give you $5 a month, and they give you a $5 new member reward, and they give you what else do they give you here? Let's look at all the perks of this shit. 5% off all graded trading cards. What?
You know how many of those you buy a year? You collector, you come on.
Free shipping on orders $54 and over, Gunny.
54 and over. Well, that's like every game, though, I guess, right?
Well, not every used game. There's
Oh, yeah, no.
smart
Yeah, anything
used.
under
Well,
that, I'm
some
gonna
of
go to
them
the
anymore,
physical
it seems
store
like.
itself.
You go
Yeah,
just order a
some of 'em.
Nintendo game, you'll get free shipping guaranteed. Like I was in the other day and I was looking in there. It wasn't a GameStop, but it was like just a regular used game store. I'm like, I wonder how much some of these old Nintendo games I'd never played. Cause I've never played like the ones I hear are like great, like Odyssey, and like there's one other one. But I went to go look, and them games are still like $40 used. I'm like, I'm not paying $40 for this old game, even though I hear it's really great.
No, yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. What else trades in PlayStations? Amazon? Go to Amazon.
I
I
don't know,
wonder
do
if
they?
Best Buy does it. I don't know. I would
Best
think
Buy
them
doesn't
being
have
kind
a
of an
trade-in.
electronic,
I'm not looking at trading for a PS5 here on the Amazon sites.
there probably is a way to ship that.
No, there is trading on PS5s. I just don't know. I'll find out how to like.
It probably just takes longer if you were to ship it to Amazon. Probably a week and a half or something, or 10 days of time it takes to get there, test the machine.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to do here. Oh, they have a PS5 digital edition 30th anniversary limited edition bundle. Only, oh, these are all third party sellers. Probably like 650
Yeah, those are
bucks.
up in the like the $900,
But these
1,000.
aren't the pros. These are the regular PS5s, but they're still like 650 bucks, 700 bucks. Yeah, those are nice though. I like
I
that
don't know.
gray
I wonder if you
color.
can still get. I think you can get the controllers, the anniversary edition controllers. Those might still be available.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm thinking about getting one, guys. Should I get one or no?
I mean, have you been using yours a lot? I mean, there's gonna be some
No,
games
no.
down the road coming out that are gonna be really good, right? You got the new Death Stranding down the
Yes.
road,
Yeah.
because that'll come out in the PS5 era, and then the new Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima will definitely take advantage of that.
Oh, you're fucking right.
That's almost a must. Oh, I wanted to ask you, Jesus, because you played this. The Rise of Ronin game is coming to
Uh-huh.
PC. Is that game good? Did you enjoy it? I never heard much about it.
No. Well, I don't know. I played like 20 minutes, like a half hour of it, an hour of it, maybe. I don't know. I played the intro and I never went back.
Oh, okay.
So I don't use my PS5 that much, but that's
So it
the
didn't really
issue.
grab you, because it's coming to PC, and I thought about picking it up on the PC, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You know what game I'm looking forward to, Mayo,
What's that?
on PC because I don't have a PlayStation 5 is Stellar Blade.
Oh yeah. I played the demo of that. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, there's no release date for it, but it just says it's scheduled for 2025.
Yeah, that'd be a good game on PC.
Wow. You know how much Amazon gives you for a PS5?
How much? Am I selling mine?
No,
300?
dude. You're better off going to GameStop by a lot. By a lot.
Okay.
$55 trade-in value.
What?
Yeah, I looked. It says okay. I went to trade in because I'm looking at a. I went to the PS5 digital edition, right, and it said trade in and save. So I click on that. It says select your console: Sony, Xbox, or Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony. It says PS5,
Must be
PlayStation,
$10 for
PS4,
a Series X then.
PlayStation Portable.
Yeah.
Okay, you select Sony PS5. It says get up to $220.
I was
Then
gonna
you
say,
select
I was like,
You
okay,
select
I thought
no,
you get
so
the
but
300,
no,
but
but listen, no, but then you click on PS5 and it asks you the questions. Does the device power on? Yes. Are they correct? No. Are they original? Yes. Have you removed all parental controls? Yes. All right, it's $220. I must have
damn,
answered the wrong question.
less than half. That's a ripoff, isn't it? You're better off keeping it or
Go to GameStop.
selling it to some shady character.
You got a GameStop, bro. Listen, how much did they give you for a Series X? Let's look at that.
Yeah. How much will I get if I
Xbox,
trade both my PS5 and Series X in? Jesus?
$440.
That's it?
Well, yeah, it's $220 for each one.
That's still
Yes,
quite a ways. That's
220.
still. I would still have to come up with like 300.
Yeah. Yep.
The Series S gets you $140. The Switch gets you what? $70.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Switch 2 right around the corner. So we
Again,
think, right?
yeah.
Probably
so,
just before the holiday.
yeah.
I'm gonna say September. Switch 2.
Switch
Just my
1 is going to
prediction.
go. See, the problem with Switch 2 is Switch 1. Because if you tell your parents you want a Switch for Christmas, they're gonna go and buy the regular Switch.
Yeah,
You're like, Mom, I
they're
already
going to be
have this."
available.
They
Yep.
do look so much alike too. You can show them a
Yeah.
picture, and you'd be like, "It looks like this, Mom," and then Mom is gonna be like, "Okay, here's the Switch. This one has the colors on the end for you," and you go,
Yeah.
Here, I even got you a Switch Lite. This one's better.
I got the 2 Switches for the price of the
You
other
you
one.
said you
Yeah.
said you get the one bundled with Mario, and you get Mario 8.
Yeah, because the Switch, it's gonna drop down to like $100, I bet, easily.
See, they'll
I
be like, "I
guarantee,
found it on sale for
I
you."
guarantee that Switch Lite's gonna be $100. Switch is gonna be 150 or 200, and Switch 2 will be like 350 to 400.
Yeah, what's our prediction on that? I'm going to say 350 on the Switch 2 at launch.
I'm gonna say 400.
I think I agree with Jesus. I was thinking 400.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With
'Cause I
inflation
seen one the I
nowadays, like
seen one the
probably
other
is closer to
day.
400.
I seen a Switch. I think I was killing some time at Walmart, and they had the Switch in there for like 320 for the OLED.
Yeah.
So I could see the new one being 400.
I see it being 400. I see the Switch OLED dropping down to like 250. The regular Switch dropping down to 150.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
And then
279.
yeah, and then the Switch what's the other one, Lite or whatever? I see that being like a crazy seller and dropping down to like $100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I
what's
think
the
Easy.
so.
Switch Lite? What is the Switch Lite? I totally forgot.
That's like
what's
that
the difference?
mobile Switch. Remember that's
It's
like the Switch that
not a dock
doesn't.
one.
Yeah, you don't dock it. It does. The Joy-Cons don't come
Oh,
off.
that's right. I was trying to remember, like, what's
It's
the
that
difference on that?
it's that handheld Switch, which sounds weird because the Switch is handheld, but it's
Yeah. Well, people say
the actual
it's
handheld.
a hybrid console. I'm like, it's a fucking handheld, is what it is. Not
It's
saying
not-
it's a terrible device. I'm just saying it's a handheld. It's not a console.
The Switch Lite is the official handheld version of the Switch,
I can dock my Steam Deck or
which they're pretty
It's not a
nice
console,
little
it's a handheld.
machines, man. I mean, if you want to just play Switch games without the Joy-Cons coming off for $100, it's a killer
Yeah.
deal.
it's really
I
good.
looked the other day. I didn't. I seen an article saying I didn't look at the price, but they're saying you can get an OLED Steam Deck pretty good price right now. Like Valve dropped the price on them or something.
Yeah,
Remember the
that
time?
and they've got like refurbished, and they're actually selling refurbished ones. I don't think they're on sale right now. I've been following the news, like everything handheld.
I wonder if
I
that's
haven't
because
seen
of
it.
the new Switch coming out. You know, if they'll really push and drop the price a little bit around that time.
The Steam Deck.
Yes.
What do they
Well,
have, like 3 different
still
tiers?
sell-
How
I
else are
bought
they
the
gonna
most
compete with the
expensive
Switch?
one.
The
You know,
old one is
it's
still
very
one of
nice.
the old one is still selling really good though, from what I hear. Like
Uh-huh.
the original Steam Deck, the one that
Yeah, the
dropped to
LCD.
400.
Yeah.
That one's still selling really good, dude.
I seen one in Marketplace the other day in my neighborhood for $250. You think I should pick it up? I
Is
have
it
my son's
LCD?
here. Like my son has one,
Yeah.
and I played it a little bit. He borrowed my Switch, and I've been using it a little bit, but I don't know. It's like
I mean, I think the difference,
250 is
like
not
lighting
bad.
and
I think it's
color,
a
right? Like on
regular
the on the
regular one.
OLED.
It's a regular LED or LCD screen.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends if I've never seen the LCD one. I've only used the
Me-
OLED one, so I
Yeah.
don't.
And I
Not
had the
seen it.
LCD one. It looks okay. That's what my son has.
Okay,
So I mean,
so
it look
yeah,
to me
I
the
mean,
quality is good, but
if you like it and you think it, I mean, if you have one already, just say, "Is this worth $250? Do I
yeah,
really want
like I
this?"
said, I've messed with my sons, but I just don't know how much. Like my Switch, I really don't use it portable. Like I would just play games
Why
when I was
not
home because I
why
really
not
don't.
just buy a Steam Deck from Steam?
Yeah, I don't mind. Like I said, I just haven't decided if I really wanted to get one yet.
I guess the
Well, you can
LCD
get the
one
warranty and everything.
Yeah,
the LCD one is $400 still, I guess. But yeah, I still have mine. I really use mine. I need to use mine more. Honestly, I think it's pretty powerful.
I used it a
for what
lot
it
this
is.
weekend. Yeah.
Like it really, like like honestly, dude. When I launch that thing and I start playing games on it, I'm like shocked half the time. I'm like, God damn, like this thing is pretty powerful for what it is. Like for being a little stupid fucking like a Sega Game Gear fucking size thing. Like this thing is pretty fucking powerful. Like if you would have told little Jesus, hey little Jesus, when you're older, you're gonna have a thing that looks like this stupid Game Gear that you hate putting these fucking 9-volt or like those big D batteries. What are those
Yeah.
called, Gunny? Like the double D batteries or the D batteries, the big fat ones.
Yeah,
Like
the
the four.
Ds.
Remember, you used to take 4 of those for that Game Gear. Like you should like
And
the
it made
Sega
it
one.
like 3 times heavier.
Yeah, and it made like 3 times heavier, and then at least like the lasted like 3 hours, 2 hours.
And hey, you could
maybe.
drop that thing, and the batteries would go flying out. All you do
Yeah,
is just pop them back in,
you pop them back in,
and it works.
and then if you
As long
like,
as you don't break the screen.
and then if the back thing ever broke, like the battery, like little thing, you just put tape on it or something,
Yeah,
like to hold
yeah,
the,
just put Scotch tape
batteries
on it.
Yeah, put some fucking tape on it to hold the batteries in. I had that on my Game Boy, one of my Game Boys, and I think I had it on maybe it was the Sega one that I had, because I know I had one, and I had an original Game Boy, and then I had that Sega one because my cousin gave it to me, because my cousin, like I told you this story before, guys, where my cousin growing up had like every console, dude, and I didn't. And I was I mean, we both grew up really poor, and then my cousin, like somehow his parents, I don't know how, maybe they sold drugs or something. I don't know. Okay, but they
Probably
got
had a
like
good job. Okay, don't fucking judge.
no, actually, no, I'm not gonna lie. My uncle had a really good job in Vegas. He was a host for the casinos. So like he was the guy that what a host is, if you don't know, in a casino is they're the ones that deal with all the rich people and all the high gambler, like the high
Probably
rollers
got
that
some
go
really
to
good tips.
and he's the one that like he's the guy if you're really rich, he's the guy you call when you're on your private jet to Vegas and you tell him, "Hey, I need a suite at the MGM. I need it with this, this, and this, and this, and this, and I need a limo to pick me up at the airport." And he's like, "All right, I'll get it done for you." And he's the guy like that's what he did for rich people. He like all day long was just like making sure rich people got what they wanted or whatever, right? Like anything they needed, they called him and he get it done for them. That was his job, so he made really good money. And so my cousin always had the nice shit. Like he always had like he had a fucking he had the original Nintendo, then he had the Super Nintendo, then he had the fucking Sega. No, actually, I was more of a Sega kid. He had one of the Segas, but then he went straight to PS1 after he got the Jaguar. He went to the PS1, and then he got the PS2, the Dreamcast, the fucking PS3, all that shit, all right? Well, I got all his hand-me-downs usually, like all his shit that he didn't want. He would give it to me, right? Like he'd be like, "Here you go, dude, you can have it, whatever." It's kind of nice of him, right? But yeah, that's how I got that Sega thing. He didn't use it. He used his Game Boy more because he was playing that Game Boy. Back then, there wasn't the Game Boy because there was the original Game Boy. What was the Game Boy after the original one? Was it like the Game Boy Advanced or something? Was it
It
called
might have been the
Advanced?
Advance. Yeah, it might have been before. That was
It
before
was.
color, right?
It was before the color one. Yeah, whatever one it was. But he gave me that Sega because he was playing Pokemon on that shit. Then he got
Yeah, Game Boy Advance SP.
yeah, and then then both of us got both of us got the Game Boy was it the color or the pocket? One of those two. I think it was pocket maybe. I don't remember which one came after the SP. But I know there was pocket and then there was color. The color was the flip one, right? Or was that the one that flipped and had different colors? I don't
Yeah.
remember which one was which. Anyway, then it came with Pokemon. We both got the
The Advance
Pokemon
flip.
ones. I think I got the the Pikachu one, or maybe the Charmander one, the red one, the Charizard one, and he got the Pikachu one, the Pokemon Yellow. I
The
got
red one you can
Pokemon
get for
Red.
$150 on Amazon.
Yeah, and yeah, man, and then but yeah, that's how I used to get all my like I used to. That's how I experienced most of the consoles growing up was through him because I would go hang out with him all the time and be over there like all the time hanging out, spending the night, all the time with them and shit. And but that's how I got to experience like the Dreamcast and like the PS2 on like he would get these things on like launch day, dude. So PS2, I remember setting that thing up. I remember seeing the boot up screen the first time. We were like, whoa, we were like fucking mind blown, Mayo, right? Mind fucking blown. PS2 screen booting up. That shit was nuts.
Right.
All right. We thought that the Sega Dreamcast was hella cool with that little because he had the Sega Dreamcast with that, I think it was a Sonic game at the time. And maybe he had Jet Set Radio or something like that. And he also had like an NFL game, like a football game. But I remember with that Sonic game, he had that little, because you know the Sega comes with that little fucking weird memory card that also looks like a Game Boy or whatever. Like it was a weird memory card. Remember that thing?
No.
It was
Yeah,
like
it had a little screen on it.
Yeah, it had like it was like a Tamagotchi screen or some shit. It was like a weird thing. Like
Yeah,
it was
I
like its
remember it.
own gaming system. It was like the Dreamcast. I mean, it was like it almost reminded me of what's that? The N64 where you plug in that fucking thing and you plug it in the top.
Yeah. I've
Kind of,
seen
but
those.
but the Dreamcast had like this memory card. I remember he had two of those, and we were like, "What the fuck are these things for?" And we're like, "Oh, these are the memory cards." And we're like, "What the fuck?" And we were all flipped out. But I remember seeing the Dreamcast for the first time, and I was like, "God damn!" I was like, "These graphics are nuts, dude." We were like, "Holy shit!" I was losing our fucking mind. Like, "Holy fucking shit!" That shit was cool, man. But yeah, that shit was cool, bro. It was cool as fuck.
It's all retro gaming now.
Think about all that
Speaking of
shit.
retro gaming, Jesus, it just
It's
popped
all
in mind when you
retro.
said Saturn or Dreamcast or whatever. I remember a while back it was announced, and I haven't heard any more about this game. Crazy Taxi. Remember they was
Yeah.
going to bring it
Oh
back
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever, and I haven't heard anything about it.
Wasn't there like I remember what's his name? Waltz or whatever. What was he? Kamala Harris's running mate. What's that guy's name?
Tim
Was it
Waltz.
Yeah, so then I guess he was playing like he was doing like a video on Twitch because I guess I don't know Trump or Vance or whatever was just doing like their whole campaigning thing and trying to tie it in. Anyway, so then he was playing Crazy Taxi. I guess he said that he used to play this as a high school teacher, back at the fucking probably the fucking 80s or some bullshit. But yeah, and then they were trying to
Yeah.
promote like Crazy Taxi 2 or whatever or a new version of it. Whoever makes that game.
Am I reading that right, Jesus? I just Googled
That
it.
was like
It's in
6 months ago, though.
2027.
2027.
Why would it be that far out? I just Googled new Crazy Taxi release date, and it says Sega's upcoming Crazy Taxi remake is reportedly slated for release in 2027.
That far away? Like
That's weird.
That's crazy. Pun intended.
That's weird.
Yeah,
That's a long ways off for a remake.
that is.
Yeah. Anyways, in other
Maybe it's a GTA clone. It's why it's going to take so long.
Gunny. People Can Fly are assisting with the Gears of War E-Day development. That is correct. Developer People Can Fly, who first made a name for themselves with Gears of War Judgment, are now back, and they're working on the franchise for the first time in more than a decade. Gears of War E-Day is the next game in the series, and the developer announced that it is working in support of Gears developer The Coalition to bring the game to life as a co-developer. So, yeah.
Hopefully, People Can Fly. What was that game that you really loved, Jesus? Bullet something?
Bulletstorm?
Bulletstorm. My gosh, they need to make a Bulletstorm too.
Yeah, because it definitely did have Gears of War vibes.
Yeah, and I remember when they made Judgment, which I never played, not because I don't know, it just got crummy reviews or whatever. I was like, I don't know if I want to pay
The last thing they made was
$50 or $60
Outriders.
for that game.
Last thing they made was Outriders. So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was a good game. Great co-op.
I only played like 5 minutes of that fucking thing.
It was a little bit broken with co-op, like the way it was just real buggy. Just trying to play with Ryan and
I played the whole campaign.
Made everybody. I was like, yeah.
What? The whole campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other news, Ubisoft, Mayo.
Ubisoft. Our friends at Ubisoft that make these great games.
Did they sold the company?
No, they're not sold off yet. They're gonna get sold off soon, but not yet. They're still owned by those French people. Ubisoft is shuttering their studios in Leamington, UK, and cutting jobs at 3 other studios. The Leamington team worked on titles like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare for Activision before being acquired by Ubisoft and helping develop games like Far Cry 5 and Tom Clancy's The Division. Despite the relative success of those titles, Ubisoft is now closing their office for good as part of a larger cost-cutting move. While Ubisoft is one of the most recognizable names in the AAA development today, it's faced a fair share of challenges in the recent years. The company's stock price has dipped after the Star Wars Outlaws release, a game Ubisoft Leamington worked on, with many blaming the game's lower-than-expected sales. It also had to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows several times, potentially just suggesting increased pressure for the studio's games to meet players' expectations. Seems the hard times are not over yet, with the round of layoffs coming for several Ubisoft subsidiaries. In a statement made to the news site Eurogamer, Ubisoft also announced they're permanently closing down Ubisoft Leamington while cutting staff at Ubisoft Dusseldorf, Ubisoft Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections. All told, the layoffs and closures will affect about 185 employees between the 4 locations. The news comes not long after the company revealed that they would also shut down X-Defiant servers on June 3rd of this year. just 1 year after the game's launch. Mark Rubin, the executive producer behind X Defiant, commented on how free-to-play games take a long time to turn a profit, and profit is the big motive behind these recent layoffs. In their statement, Ubisoft said the move is part of, quote, an ongoing effort to prioritize their projects and reduce their cost. That's right.
I hope that doesn't mean prioritize games for service. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they've done so well on them.
Yeah. It says here, shutting down Ubisoft Limited and cutting staff at other locations may not be the end of the company's money-saving efforts either. A recent report suggested that Ubisoft and Tencent are considering splitting the company instead of making it private. The split would boost Tencent's stake in Ubisoft properties, potentially injecting some more cash flow into the business while spreading out some of their cost of managing all of their assets. It's still uncertain if the two organizations will go that route, though any big moves may be postponed until it's clear how Assassin's Creed Shadows performs. Regardless of what actions follow, Ubisoft's latest studio closure and round of layoffs are part of an unfortunate but persistent trend in this industry. In late 2024, Microsoft laid off 650 employees after laying off roughly 1,900 workers earlier that year. Sony, Bungie, Sega, and many other indie developers have made similar decisions in the past year as economic headwinds persist for big and small game studios alike. That's right. Right, guys. So we'll see
Wow.
what happens.
What do you think, Jesus? What do you think? What's going on with Ubisoft? I mean, are they just that's
They're
kind of the
done,
nature
dude.
of our economy, or like I don't
No,
know.
they're just
Like,
fucked.
They're
They're
just not making.
fucked.
They're not
They
listening
don't
to
make
their
good
player base.
games. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
the
are
they're.
problem. Dude, the Division. Where the fuck is the Division 3?
I
Where
don't know.
is it?
I feel like if they should have. I understand games take a lot to make, right? But Ubisoft's got a lot of money. I don't know why. Like I want to say Division 1 and 2 were successful. I enjoyed
No,
both games.
instead we make X Defiant a free-to-play trash game that no one plays and is going to be shut down less than a year after launch.
Fine, you make X Defiant. Let it. They needed more maps. I played it. I'm like, why am I playing the same map over and over again? Even though the game looked good, it's an Ubisoft game. But and the gameplay was very fluid. But damn, put in some more maps, better game modes or something. But yeah, I was like, what the hell's my Division 3? What the hell?
I can
Fuck.
never even think of a reason to launch my Ubisoft launcher. Like that's one of the
No, I
last things
rarely
I
ever
launch
do.
about. Or I think about launching. You know, it's right up there with my my
Yeah,
Battle.net launcher. You know, it's
yeah.
two launchers that if they weren't in the bottom of my screen on my taskbar in the bottom, I'd probably have forgotten about them.
I got to remind me to open up Epic and claim the free game.
All right, and more news. There's some AMD news for the PC gamers out there. If you remember the FSR 3 launch, only 2 games supported FSR 3 at launch. But hopefully that won't be the case with FSR 4, as according to a reliable source of leaks, when it comes to backwards compatibility, wow. They say that it should just work. Exactly how it should just work is currently unclear. According to somebody, Kepler L2, who the fuck is that? I don't know. And one of the more reliable source leakers of modern times, AMD's RDNA 4 driver will simply replace the FSR 3.1 DLL with FSR 4. Whether that's applied by default on all FSR 3.1 supported games or a manual game-by-game process is up for debate. AMD hinted at this in their slide presentation at CES 2025, which announced both FSR 4 and the new RX 9070 series GPUs. That's right. So, yeah.
It should just work. Put the car together, turn the key. It should just turn on. I don't know. It sounds very simple.
Yeah. Anyways. So yeah, we'll see if FSR 4. A lot of games use FSR, and then you can use it a lot on the Steam Deck as well.
Yeah, I've got some news about that as well. So regarding some of the games for Steam Deck, stuff I don't quite understand, but somebody will with FSR.
Xbox boss, big boss Phil Spencer has responded to rumors of a number of Xbox classics that could be making their way to the Nintendo Switch 2. That's right. Earlier this month, it was reported that Xbox was looking to release more exclusive games on their rival consoles after testing the waters last year with Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded. it was claimed that Microsoft Flight Simulator and Halo the Master Chief Collection would be coming to the PS5 and Nintendo Switch 2 this year, alongside Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, Age of Mythology, and Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition. Last week, another leaker claimed that Microsoft is currently working on ports of Diablo 4, Starfield, Fallout 4, and an unknown Call of Duty title for the Switch 2. Now, Phil Spencer has backed up those rumors. In a new interview with Gamertag Radio, he said, I was exchanging emails with Furukawa-san, the CEO of Nintendo, after the Switch 2 was announced, and I gave him a big congrats, and I said, my old eyes appreciate the larger screen, he said. Nintendo, their innovation, and what they mean in this industry. He said, I just always applaud the moves that they make. I am really looking forward to supporting them with the games that we have. He went on to say that Nintendo is, quote, a really important part of this industry, and it's hard with what's publicly out here right now for everybody to get their heads around it, but who would ever bet against the success of that team? They're just masterful in what they do. The Switch is a massive success, and I think the Switch 2 will be as well. In a separate interview, Spencer confirmed that Starfield will be releasing on rival consoles. He said, our strategy is to allow games to be available. Game Pass is an important component of playing the games on our platform, but to keep the games off of other platforms, that's not a path for us. It doesn't work for us, and we're doing what we're doing now. Okay.
We don't care about our player base.
Nintendo officially launched this, not launched, but announced the Switch 2 earlier this month with the hardware-focused trailer. No games have been announced for the console, but a clip of a new Mario Kart game was used during the teaser. More details are due out in April when Nintendo will share a Switch 2 focused direct. In other news, whatever, I don't want to do the other part. But yeah, so Starfield coming to PS5. All these other games coming to PS5.
There is no red line, he said. Like, I didn't watch the whole interview with Gamertag Radio or the one with Justin Legary.
We don't even need Xbox anymore. Xbox is just Sega now.
Right.
Is that what they are? Are they just Sega now? Are they going to just be a publisher of games?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I don't think that, like, I think people are just like, whatever his wording, right, as a CEO, like, like, even like, for example, like he was even asked that question by, was it Justin Legary? Asked him about the Series S, being low in power and memory or whatever, like, could they drop the parity clause or whatever? Would that ever be a thing? And Phil, I don't know, his response was like totally something different. Like, nah, we think it's a good thing, man. We really do. And like, we like putting games on other platforms and we're happy to do it. And I don't know. I don't think they can just come out and just say, you know what? Or he can't come out and just say, look, I've got a spreadsheet. We had a meeting. Basically, everything's coming to the PlayStation 5 and whatever else we can put on the Nintendo Switch 2. We've already talked to the CEO about, putting the Halo Master Chief Collection on there and gear. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be like, maybe that would send stocks tumbling or whatever. I don't know. Maybe like they probably do want to keep selling the S and the X as long as they can. Like, I'm sure, right? Well, I mean, they're out there, but yeah, I think they're just going full publisher. I think, and I have a prediction. I really think that, and even Phil said this, I don't have the exact date, but like somebody said like, oh, like obviously everybody's working on something, right? The next Xbox, the next PlayStation 6, right? Something's always in development. They're always working on new hardware. But something that really kind of captured my eye was when like Phil Spencer did an interview with somebody and he was like, yeah, man, we're working on a handheld, kind of spoiler, that's more of a Sarah Bond thing. But of course we are. New hardware, new innovation, blah, blah. But I'm like, there it is right there. They're going the Nintendo route. I see it now. Like, I don't know. I just think that like this might be it for the consoles. I feel like they just might go, fuck it. Let's just make a handheld console like Nintendo Switch and you can dock it and it's a hybrid and you can take it with you and it can stream games and through the cloud. You can install them natively. Like, I don't know. That's just, yeah. But as far as like, yeah, third party stuff, I kind of see what they're doing, right? Where not everything is like day and date. I think some things are like maybe Doom is day and date on PS5, right? The PS5 Pro. But other things are not, right? Like Starfield. And I've heard other YouTubers and content creators talk about, basically kind of laughing at Xbox saying like, look, the S and the X are just like test beds for things like Starfield till they work out all the bugs, because it's a Bethesda game. And once they get it to a really good place, then it'll go to the PS5, right? Because there is no like release date, for Starfield on other platforms other than PC, of course. So yeah, I think they're definitely going the third party, self-publishing. It's going to happen. It's happening. It's already happening. So I called this back when everything went to Steam day one. Everything is on Steam day one. How would you call that an exclusive, right? Phil even said that, what did he call it? There's something that he said as a first party game. It might have been Ninja Gaiden Black too. Said, yeah, man, this is our something first party title or something. But everybody was so confused on that. Like, wait, what? How is this first party? So it's not really. So I don't know, kind of changing the goalposts. So yep, is what it is. It's happening. So
yeah.
Happened, right?
Another
right,
news.
Mayo?
Yeah, man. Another thing I can say is when I was going through the news today, Gunny, Dustin, and you, I ran across an article and they were saying that like it's still a really high number, like 65 or 75% of Game Pass subscribers are still on console.
Yes, there it is,
Damn.
right there. Right,
So-
we'll lose that money.
So they are still playing it on their console, So I guess there is a value to make a console yet to have it on there because it feels kind of like they're meshed together,
And another reason to not say, yeah, man, we kind of throwing in the towel. We're just going to put everything on there, right? Like I'm sure out of that 65%, some of them could eventually say, you know what? I don't know. 6 months from now, I'm going to get a PS5 and kind of move over, right? There's no reason to have this or Game Pass, So you don't want to lose
Or
value
PC.
or lose that income.
I'm always still to this day, talking to people that get a gaming PC for the very first time. One of the guys I work with, his son, who is like 19, just bought his very first gaming PC, and he's all excited. He's always played on Xbox, and so now he is migrated on, to PC. And I'm curious to see how many people will just continue to move to PC. Remember back in the day when PC was dead? Everybody was like, "Oh, the PC's dead."
Yeah, right. It's not exactly AAA gaming, right? It's just
And it seems to be
whatever's on there.
everybody's still kind of migrating to. Now PlayStation's putting their game there. Xbox is putting pretty much all their stuff there. So
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. In other news, the Japanese version of Assassin's Creed Shadows is being censored. That's right. So in Japan, the game will receive a Z rating from the organization Zero. If a game has a 0Z rating, that means that the game contains strong adult material, and it is illegal to sell the game to anyone under 18. Despite this, Zero has still determined that the gore in Assassin's Creed Shadows is too extreme for its C rating, and is causing Ubisoft to censor the gore. So yeah.
Isn't that not the same thing for probably the US, right? It probably has a M mature or no?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, but over there, it's 18 and over. Says here, regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows Zero C, there are some differences in the game content of the version sold in Japan in order to comply with the regulations of the reviewing organization, Ubisoft said in their statement. They said the option to switch dismemberment on and off has been removed from the game settings, and now dismembering the heads and limbs of enemies while playing is permanently disabled. The way severed body parts are depicted has also been changed. Ubisoft also says that some of the Japanese language dialogue that will be used in the North American and European versions of the game will be changed for the Japanese version, but they did not go into further details on that. Says here, Zero's decision to censor dismemberment in video games has been the source of controversy in the past. Last year, EA Japan General Manager Sean Noguchi criticized them for what he believed were discrepancies in the way the Dead Space remake and Stellar Blade were rated. Stellar Blade was passed with a 0D rating, meaning it's not suitable for players 17 or under, but it can still be purchased by them with the parental consent, whereas Dead Space Remake was outright refused a rating at all.
Wow.
But
you can have sexy ladies all day long.
All day long, them
Bunch
sexy
of pervs
anime
up there in
chicks.
Japan.
Them sexy anime chicks,
Yeah.
I don't not remember. I mean, maybe because I haven't played Valhalla in quite a while. I don't remember being that much dismemberment in any of their games before.
No, I don't either. But that would be cool. I'm ready to lob some
maybe
heads off.
Valhalla
and
had it, but I don't
Casey
remember ever
Shadows.
any kind of limbs coming off or
See heads chopped off.
I mean, I can
Some
see that in the
heads.
Viking side of the game, but I don't remember ever arms or legs or anything.
No,
So that
not
might
that
be
I
Like,
remember. I played a lot
chop
of Assassin's
people's
Creed.
going to chop people's arms off and their heads off. The fuck? Yeah, well, that's in this game apparently. Another news: Power World developer says he's swamped with offers for Pocket Pair's new publishing company, which is all about giving devs the financial freedom to make games they want. With the surprise move from the developer behind Power World to open a new publishing arm of the company proving so popular, one poor dev laments that he's perhaps a little busier than he originally thought he'd be. Despite being founded in 2015, it wasn't until early last year that the Pocket Pair became somewhat of a household name with the breakout success of Power World. And with the game proving exceedingly popular, racking up more than 25 million players in only a single month after launch, the studio has now decided to put those funds to good use, opening up Pocket Pair Publishing to provide funding and publishing support for indie developers. Understandably, this is a major opportunity for smaller developers, as the publisher's communications director and publishing manager John Buckley found out almost immediately. Taking to Twitter, he posted 2 screenshots taken 15 hours after the announcements of Pocket Pair Publishing, showing that he had already received 68 emails from prospective developers, as well as a whopping 1,577 invitations on LinkedIn. He says, "My inboxes were zero before this."
Yeah, wow. What another
He said,
success story from them.
he explains, "I think I might have underestimated how much interest there would be in this." Despite the mountain of work on his plate, Bucky is clearly passionate about the project, stating that Pocket Pair are there to help devs out when they are in need. But that but how the game comes together is really up to them, stating matter of factly that is, if you want help with marketing or something, we'll help you out. But otherwise, do whatever you want. We're giving devs the financial freedom to make the games they want, so they don't have to get wrapped up with stinky rule makers and bullies. Um, the first and so far only game confirmed by Pocket Pair Publishing is a title from Abubakar Salim's Surgeon Studios, the developer behind 2024's Tales of Kinzara Zhao. Though it's clear there's much more to come in the future. So I guess Tales of Kinzara Zhao.
Nice, man. That's a good publishing company. I would go with them.
Go with Pocket Pair, people. Yeah, go with Pocket Pair. Yeah, hopefully they have enough money to fund all these things. I don't
I think
know.
they do for the meantime. I think they do. I'm sure they're just probably taking the regular cut. But yeah, when a company just says, make what you want, man, we'll fund you. I mean, I'm sure they got to prove themselves, of course. But hey, look, do you remember, Jesus? We were talking about that. The CEO of the company or whatever, like, I don't know about Pocket Bear, but whoever made Power World, like, just taking chances on people and calling people back, and saying, you know how to use a keyboard and make video game stuff? Get in here. Like, yeah, look what they made out of this. Some cool shit, right? From artists to graphics designers, whatever. Fuck people that make games. I think this is a great story.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and other news, Elon Musk apparently used bots to level up his characters in Path of Exile 2 in Diablo.
Was it bots or other players? I wondered.
I think it's bots or something. He used something way to level up. Like he would, like obviously, what happened was the other day, like a few weeks ago, he streamed himself playing Path of Exile 2 a while back,
Which is probably a
and
mistake. Wait,
and he was like really high level. Like I'm talking like
I think he
super
was like
like
the 7th highest ranked player in the world or something like that so far.
yes, like really really high. And
What a fucking
the thing
cheater.
is, people that were watching him were asking him like, if you're so good at this game, how do you have so much time to put into this when you're running SpaceX, you're running around with Trump, you run
Yeah,
SpaceX,
exactly.
you run SpaceX, you run Tesla. Like, how do you have all this time to play this game? Like,
Maybe he's got a
people are
Steam Deck, bro.
no, but people were questioning it, and
Lenovo Legion
pretty
Go. I don't
much
know.
people were also questioning his
Laptop.
his gaming skills because when he was playing Path of Exile 2 to all these live viewers on Twitch or whatever, they noticed that he was having issues with the UI. Like he didn't understand what certain
Yeah.
things of the UI meant, and he was leaving like really rare items on the floor, just laying there. Like
Yeah,
he
there was
wouldn't pick
something
them up.
that's like super valuable. I remember watching a YouTube video on this, and they were saying like this thing drops so rare. It's like the number one thing you want to be grabbing it in game.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
just walked right by it and like
yeah.
didn't pick it up and just went and got some other like mine whatever gear that's the game is marks as good. The game doesn't mark these items as like something valuable, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's super valuable. So he was just like go by and grabbing it, and he like really needs this at in game. And they were like, yeah. And then he was trying to open something. I guess there was something he couldn't do, and he kept trying to do it over and over. Like he would click on it, and then he would mouse off, and then click on it again, and then mouse off, and then click on it again. And everybody's like, they just
What are
knew
you
he could do
doing?
it. And they're like, somebody that has that much playing time on this like outer world looking part of thing where they're clicking on it, they're like they would know they couldn't do that. Like just common sense, like you wouldn't have to put tons of hours in the game to know you couldn't click on that and do that. And he kept trying to do it over and over, like, oh, maybe it'll work now, and then you would click on it. Oh, maybe it works now, and then you would click on it. So like you knew he didn't have any kind of like knowledge of what it was.
Yeah.
Stick to what you know, bro. Stick with SpaceX and yeah. What a cheater. He's going to run our government's watchdog for spending. Come on.
Yeah.
This guy's a cheater.
And in other news, this is breaking news today, Gunny. This is breaking news.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you know this, Gunny, but today NVIDIA broke a record in history. You want to know what they did?
Oh, yes. I did see this. Today.
Their stocks dropped 17%, Mayo.
600 billion, was it?
If you are a stockholder for NVIDIA, that's very bad for you because you lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Over $600 billion in value was lost in a single day for a company. That is the largest amount of money any company in the history of the stock market has ever lost in a single day.
Wow. Yeah.
That is like the value of some companies. A lot of companies actually are worth less than 600 billion.
Is it said how it dropped or why it dropped?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this morning, a company called DeepSeek came up and they grabbed everyone's attention. That's right. Due to their brand new tech, which some experts say rivaled that of OpenAI's ChatGPT. DeepSeek, is also catching investors off guard because of the low development cost for its AI app, which Wedbush Securities analyst Dan Ives pegged at only $6 million. By comparison, OpenAI, Google, and other major U.S. companies are on track to invest roughly $1 trillion in AI in the next few years.
Versus
And
6 million?
And this company is like, yeah, no, bro, we did this for 6 million. 6 million compared to 1 trillion. Hey, Mayo, I got my tomorrow, Mayo, for $1. Huh?
Right.
How about you, Mayo? Yeah, the same fucking comparison, Mayo. You'd be like, what the fuck? All right. On Monday, DeepSeek rolled out their brand new AI, which is pretty much a competitor to ChatGPT and the other one, whatever NVIDIA has. And this is a deep learning AI. Okay. They have an app on the App Store available right now, which is now the most downloaded app on the App Store. And because of this, AI-related stocks took a big hit, with NVIDIA shares tumbling 17%. They lost 600 billion value, which marks the biggest single one-day loss for a company in the history of the market. And ASML sank 6%, while Broadcom, another semiconductor company, slumped 17%. So there's that. That's right. So what is DeepSeek? DeepSeek, Mayo, is a private. Oh, here's the issue, Mayo. Chinese company.
It's
Hackers.
doomed.
Hackers are coming in.
Yep. They're spying on us. Shut them down.
Shut it down.
The government's going to make them sell it. They're going to be like, you need to sell this. They're going to be getting our information. The AI is going to be figuring this out, and then it needs to get banned in the U.S.
Oh, fuck. Shredded by the Chinese, founded in July 2023 by Lian Wengfeng, a graduate of Zhejiang University, one of China's top universities, who funded the startup via his hedge fund. According to the MIT Technology Review, Liang has about $8 billion in assets. Says here, Liang, who had previously focused on applying AI to investing, had bought a stockpile of NVIDIA A100 chips a type of tech that is now banned from export to China, says these chips have become the basis of DeepSeek, the MIT publication reported. Ben Rice, the head of technology research at Melius, told investors in a note that DeepSeek makes legitimate breakthroughs as an AI tool, including better learning, Mayo, and more efficient use of memory. That's right. Is DeepSeek available in the US, you may be asking, Mayo? Well, the company's AI app is available on the App Store as well as their website. The service is free, and as of Monday morning was the most downloaded app on the App Store.
Yeah, they're getting shut
On the-
down.
Yeah,
I was
I'm,
just
you know
calling
what,
in
Jesus, I'm gonna go buy some
congressional
Nvidia
hearings.
stock right now. It's low. I'm buying it. The government, they're gonna shut these people down, and Nvidia's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
come
I
right
would
back
say
up there.
that's the thing, right? Buy the
Listen.
Nvidia stock now.
Listen, man, all right, even though some people were having issues launching DeepSeek due to the high volume of users, on their Chinese website, DeepSeek blamed, quote, large-scale malicious CIA attacks. No, they didn't say CIA, but I added that part. But they said large-scale malicious attacks are on their servers, requiring them to temporarily limit new registrations. Existing users can log in as usual, they said. The company said in a post, which was dated shortly after midnight on January 28th in China's local time. The company released its latest AI model on January 20th, causing Wall Street to reappraise the AI sector. Last week, DeepSeek launched a model that rivals OpenAI's ChatGPT and Meta's Llama 3.1 and was the number one on the Apple App Store over the weekend. DeepSeek built a model using reduced capability chips from NVIDIA, which is impressive and thus has caused a major agita for U.S. tech stocks with massive pressure on Nasdaq this morning. Says here, how is DeepSeek different than other AI apps? Says here, DeepSeek is an open source, large language model that relies on what is known as inference time computing, which, stated in layman's terms, means they can activate only the most relevant portions of their model for each query, and that saves a lot of money and computation power. Some experts praised DeepSeek's performance, with noted tech investor Mark Anderson writing on X January 24th, DeepSeek R1 is one of the most amazing and impressive breakthroughs I have ever seen, and as an open source, a profound gift to the world. David Zaks, a venture capitalist named by Mr. Trump to help oversee AI and cryptocurrency policy, said on social media Monday that DeepSeek app shows that the AI race will be very competitive. That's right. That's right.
I mean, what are these apps even for? I don't ever mess with these AI
Me
apps.
neither.
Listen, man, it only matters. Okay, listen, man. It doesn't matter how good your AI is, as long as you have the first AI out there that's good enough, man. Okay, that's the name of the game, man. It's like those what are those fucking apps? The ones that were buying all the houses in the U.S. Like Redfin and what's
Redfin
the
or
other
something.
one?
Yeah.
What's the other one called? Well, there's a few of them, right? But they were buying all the
BlackRock.
houses. They were buying all the houses in the U.S. that people were putting up for sale. They would just buy your house on the spot. You put your house up for sale. They offer you whatever you put it up for sale as. Like legit, like said, oh, you want 500,000 for your house? Okay, we got a check for you right here, 500,000, and you sold your house that same fucking day or the next day or whatever without waiting. That's what these guys are doing. They're trying to be the first one to have the biggest AI and the smartest AI out there quicker than everyone else.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, like, apparently, I would say even as much as I don't understand it. Well, I'll say this at first. I've watched Satya Nadella. He was on MSNBC doing an interview with the reporter on there, the host, and just talking about like, we're giving 80 billion to OpenAI or whatever the company, to work with Windows and Azure servers and blah blah blah, and like. I don't know. And somebody was just talking about just talking shit, like, hey, like they don't even have the money, but you're putting up most of it. And he's like, yeah, we're good for it, man. We got all the billions of dollars. We're good. And like, I don't know, I'm just thinking like, damn, like that's just a lot of motherfucking money going into these AI fucking programs. And like, even today, like, like you're watching some of that stuff on MSNBC or wherever the hell I saw like the tech stuff, like, I don't know. You still have to have the chips, though, right? I mean, that's the thing. It may not have to be the most advanced chips, but yeah, just that. Yeah, that stuff's crazy. So I don't understand a lot of it. So, AI based, but to me, it's just software, is it not? Really, what
Yeah,
it comes down to?
Yeah,
I know.
my assumption.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh well.
Well, yeah. So, like, I'm looking at a chart right now that looks at all these tests, right? All these different tests, Gunny. Something called Code Forces, something called AIM 2024, Math 500, MMLU, SWE Bench, GPQA Diamond. Anyways, looks like a bunch of names for these different tests or whatever for AI. And I'm looking at DeepSeek R1, OpenAI -01, DeepSeek R1 32B, and OpenAI .01-mini. And the DeepSeek R1 outperforms OpenAI in almost everything or underperforms it by like 0.2 or 0.3 at most at some things.
I opened it up on my phone, and some of the reviews were saying that basically their servers are getting overloaded, though. Like it's taking longer now for things to pop up, and because of the popularity.
You download that China spy shit on your phone, Mayo?
No, I didn't download it because I don't even know what I'd use it for. So
I don't know. People, I don't know, man. It was funny though. Speaking of what people use ChatGPT for, my kid the other day, right? It's pretty wild. I was like kind of laughing at it because I was like, I can't believe they're doing the. They have their computer right for school because that's what they do all their work on nowadays. Is a laptop like a Chromebook, right?
Yeah.
And she was doing her homework, and she needed to email her teacher about fucking like something about not being able to do her homework for some reason or something, or trying to get something from her homework she couldn't get it. So she went to ChatGPT and told ChatGPT to make her an email to her teacher about not being able to do the homework for whatever reason. And ChatGPT fucking wrote the email out for her.
Oh,
She
that's
just
right.
copied
Yeah.
and pasted. I
My
was
wife
fucking
uses that.
laughing. I was fucking laughing my ass off. I'm like, that's smart, dude. I'm like, that's all she told ChatGPT was like, give me an email to tell my math teacher so and so that I cannot do my homework because of these reasons. And the fucking email just popped up. It was like a long email too. I was like, that is fucking genius, dude. I'm
It is,
like, oh
isn't it?
my
And then
god.
the fact that like all the spelling is correct and
Yeah,
it uses
everything.
big words.
Yeah, you use big words. It's all correct. It's all like fancy. Like, I was fucking laughing my ass off. I'm like, I can't even give you shit for this. This is pretty fucking genius. That's some like next level tech kid shit. Like that's future kid fucking tech right there, man. Like that's crazy.
Yeah. I forgot my wife uses that with her work software. It comes
Yeah.
with like a chat GTP thing or whatever. So she said it works pretty damn good. She uses it all the time.
Yeah.
I guess that is AI. Yeah. What am I thinking? I don't use it driving truck. I use software on my device, but just deliveries.
Listen, Gunny, AI is gonna replace you, bro.
Yeah, they probably will. I would think I think that's going to be nuts. Like that'll be the thing in the next like fucking bot or drone or something, right? You got to have the software. We probably have it down where like we've got all the models down, right? We just need the software. And I would say the chips, right? Which I think it is kind of silly to see NVIDIA, lose that much in stock, but they'll get it back too. But, with their AI shit, but crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. But you're right, Mel. If I were you, I'd buy NVIDIA stock right now.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah. It'll go back up.
Because it will go back up. I do not doubt it.
That's just Wall Street scare stuff right now.
Yeah. This is to get people all scared and not buying, but no. I guarantee all the big motherfuckers are buying right now like crazy. Yeah. Yeah, but that's crazy that China is using this shit now that's been banned from China because didn't Trump sign an executive order banning like certain shit to be shipped to China, like certain chips or whatever, to not be to not be like sent over there? So now China's like, all right, fuck you. We'll use what we have already, motherfuckers.
Yeah, for 6 million, that's insane, right? When you compare it to $1 trillion, that's a big, huge difference.
That's like a penny, grow, right? That's like a penny to $1 million, man. That's like so much, such a difference, dude. That is such a difference of money. Like Holy fucking shit. That is an insane amount of money, dude. That's like a big fucking difference that like it's incomparable. Like that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, not even close, right?
But I guarantee it won't be able to handle the load of the people if everyone trying to do it. Like it's just I don't think it can. They'd have to scale that so hard. Like they have to scale that times a million. Like they'd have to scale that really high. You know, if people
who
are having
knows,
issues
maybe-
right now.
Right? Maybe Microsoft might be like, "Hey, we got these Azure servers over here. Hello."
Hey, China, we'll help you. No, they wouldn't. They're not stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. All right.
That all we got. I got one. I do have one thing regarding handheld stuff. Jesus. Okay, never mind. It says the site's offline. It's not working. So
Are you trying to use DeepSeek right now? Is that what you're trying to do?
I think so. It says this site is currently undergoing schedule maintenance.
Oh,
But
wow.
basically, it was regarding something Mayo had brought up and you brought up too, Jesus, a couple times when it comes to so this is a plugin mod for FSR3 FrameGen mod for Steam Deck. So, for example, for Empire of Ants, like if you go on onto my Steam Deck or whatever, it'll say basically it's an unknown kind of game. It's not verified or anything like that, but it doesn't mean you can't play the game, right? It's just saying like it's an unknown game. We don't know anything about it, but it is like a game that can be played on a controller, right? And you can download a controller configuration. But what it does, Mayo, is it adds that DLSS mod to it, so you can get past playing at like 10 frames a second. So it'll add it to the game. So a little bit of work you got to put into it, but it's a pretty quick video, and yeah, a lot of games are. So Mayo, I'm sure you'll figure that stuff out once you get a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, all these games, like, oh, I could just play indie games and then whatever else is certified, right? Whether it be Baldur's Gate or God of War or whatever these games, but you're gonna have a lot of games in your library that will not be. I hate to use the word not be able to play, but not certified, right? But there's definitely ways, right, through different websites. You could just say, all right, what settings do I use? Like, what do I change? Do I use FSR? Do I lower the voltage? Do I do that? Yeah. So a lot of games can be played and configured to play on a controller. So just a matter of putting in the time for it. So, but it seems like a really good mod. I've seen a lot of things like, yeah, can't think of any other game besides Empire of Ants, but there are a few others that you can add it to the game. So that actually work really good. And then you're playing again. Boom. You're doing 39 frames a second. Good stuff. So I haven't played it yet. I should probably try it for next week. But I was already trying to get my, I have a thing on there called Junk Store, for my Epic games, but now it's broken. So I might have to reinstall it. So yeah, to play a non-Steam game. So it just kind of adds it in, and yeah, pretty easy. So you just go to the Decky Loader or something like that. It comes with the Junk Store. Just different cool stuff for the Steam Deck to where it makes more games available for you to play that you couldn't do otherwise. But that's all I have, guys. What about you, Jesus?
That's all I have, man.
All right.
Besides the cartel wars we're gonna go with Mexico.
Orderly.
Man, it says the cartel is planting explosives along the border in preparation for all-out war against the U.S. military.
Oh, nice.
Hey, they were shooting at border patrol agents yesterday or today at some part of the border because they were trying to cross the border and the border patrol agents were trying to stop them. So they started shooting at the border patrol agents and
trying to get all the kilos of methamphetamines over here, and they can't because the freaking Marines are guarding with Ospreys and B-52 bombers. Thanks, Trump.
I don't think they realize who they're gonna poke the hornet's nest, man, and I don't think they realize really how dangerous the U.S. military is.
You ever watch those videos of like, I don't know, one of those things called Black Hawk helicopters? I remember Desert Storm. Like it kind of shows that nighttime vision, and they can be far away, and then they've got like the minigun like lasered in on an enemy that's like 500 kilometers away, and just like lighting them up. Like I can just definitely see that like in the dead of night, and they're like, "Do you hear a helicopter?" No, I don't.
I don't hear nothing.
Right.
Turn them into Swiss cheese. Yeah.
All I see is a little red light miles up in the sky. What the fuck is that? It's a fucking Predator drone.
Yeah.
Predator
Right. I forgot about drones. Yeah.
Flying in, grabbing a missile in their fucking house. That's gonna be wild as fuck, dude. When that's
Right?
crazy
It's like
shit starts
that's not a
happening.
Baghdad video. That's a Mexico video. Yeah.
Is,
That's nuts.
is that a fucking tank driving towards us? A fucking U.S.
That's a fucking
Abrams tank.
Bradley. Watch out.
Fucking,
Yeah.
fucking tank driving down the highway. Is that a fucking U.S. tank coming at us? What the fuck?
That would be kind of nuts though, right? Because isn't Mexico part of the UN? I don't know. Like they're kind of a ally of ours. So
They are our ally, but I mean, if the U.S. deems the cartels enough of a threat to the U.S.
sure.
population,
Yeah, I would think,
then
right? If
yeah,
they're using weapons or bombs, then
bombs and weapons. I mean, dude, the cartel is like the only people in Mexico. Guns in Mexico are illegal. I don't know if you know this or not, but guns in Mexico are strictly like
yes, very
prohibited.
illegal. Yeah, if you get caught, you go to jail, prison,
Yeah,
don't you?
big time. Yeah, dude, like big time jail in Mexico if you get caught with guns. But you know who has all the guns because the guns are illegal? The cartels. So that's why they run around doing whatever the fuck they want because they have all the guns. You ever seen like those vehicles they make, like those fucking? They're called monstros, which is like monsters in English, but they're like big like trucks or like
Like a
construction.
Humvee or something, or like what?
No, it's like big trucks, like think of like a big F-350,
Oh yeah,
but they
yeah.
but then they weld like all these like heavy plates around it. So, like they weld all like these plates around it, man, like a makeshift like armored car,
Yeah.
and they have like all these little slots to shoot out of, and
Oh,
they
what am I
drive
thinking
those,
of? What's that
and
movie? Yeah.
they drive those things to, and like say you need to deliver something to someone, but you have to drive through like an enemy cartel's area. You get in a bunch of these cars that are armored, plated up with like big plates of fucking metal around them, and you just drive through in a convoy through your enemy's territory, and if they shoot at you, you have a higher chance of surviving in these monster cars or whatever. And that's what they do, man. They drive these big trucks around, and the cops can't stop them. I mean, how is a cop car going to stop a fucking armored F-350? You know what I mean? Like,
It reminds me.
What
This
are the
totally.
Mexican cops called? Jesus in Spanish? I forgot.
a lot of they're just called the police, but the federales are like the federal
Federales, right?
police.
Like yeah.
Yeah, they're the federal police or whatever. But yeah, what do you say, Mayo?
It reminds me of it. It's completely unrelated in a way, but there's a Netflix comedy with Shane Gillis, and he talks about it's called Beautiful Dogs,
Yeah.
and he talks in there about like fighting the Middle Eastern and like how they're fighting them with their weapons against our U.S. military, and then like when they actually blow something up, they act as surprised and how they're celebrating, and it's a really good comedy. You should
It
watch it
works.
sometime. It's really funny. Like 'cause he talks initially about like dating a woman who was dating a Navy SEAL before him, and he's
Yeah.
like, "What do I bring to the table?" But he talks about the like how foreigners when they're fighting our country, like they're over here throwing rocks at our tanks and stuff, and he goes, when something blows up. They're in shock. He goes, I almost kind of root for him sometimes, like because he's like trying to make fun of our military in a way because he was making fun of
Yeah.
the Navy SEAL because he dated his wife before him or something like that. He's like,
Yeah.
those pussies, they need to have night vision where the other guys, they just fire blindly, and it just goes on and on. But it's a really funny comedy. It's stand up, it's Shane Gillis. It's called Beautiful Dogs. Give it a check out. It's really funny.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I think that that all that shit it's wild. Like the cartels have a lot of power and influence in the world. Like I don't think people realize just how much influence those fuckers have on everything in the world. Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
Because there's drugs, man. Those don't just ship
Right.
to the
It's
US. They ship
big business,
all around
right?
the world.
Billions of dollars.
They ship to Europe, to Africa, to South America, Mexico, everywhere, dude. Canada, the US, every country gets the drugs. Like so, like these motherfuckers got power. They got power. Like there's a reason El Chapo was worth like what $2 billion when he was arrested or something.
Yeah.
And there's a reason he could afford for them to build a tunnel all the way to his prison cell. Like they legit built a tunnel
What,
all
they
the
just bought like
way
a
to his.
boring machine or something and
Well,
drilled
man,
all the way in
remember
there?
you don't remember that the first time he was arrested, he was put in like Mexico's most secure prison in Mexico. They said there was like a high end like max security prison in Mexico,
They
and the
just built something there
cartel.
like a cartoon.
Yes,
Like,
yes, the
wow.
cartel. So what the cartel did was they bought a house, which was like 5 miles away from this prison, like a random house, like a piece of property, and they bought it, right? So what they do with this piece of property? They fucking bore a tunnel from that property all the way to the exact spot of the Chapo's fucking, like, his jail cell, right under his bathtub, and like he just walked, like, when it shows him on camera when he was escaping, he just walks over to his bathtub, lifts it up, walks into the tunnel, gets on the dirt bike that they put for him down there, and he rode the dirt bike in the tunnel to the house.
Damn. That'd
And
make a
got
good
away.
movie. That'd make a great movie.
Yeah, dude. Like that's how he escaped the first time. And then they caught him again, and the second time the U.S. was like, no, we're going to extradite him and put him in the United States. The motherfucker could escape way too easily in Mexico, man. So they put him in, like, I don't know where I think they have him in, like, that Colorado Supermax prison in the U.S., like the crazy one, the one that's, like, where they keep terrorists and shit. They have him there, I think.
Okay. Jeez.
But yeah, he's in the U.S. now. But the first time he was caught, he was in Mexico. Yeah, dude, they fucking straight made a tunnel to his jail cell. It's like a cartoon, bro. He literally wakes up from a nap, goes over to his bathtub, lifts it up, gets in it, gets in the tunnel, and then disappears. Where the fuck did he go?
Damn.
They said he rode a dirt bike on a fucking tunnel all the way to the house, went up to the house, got in a car, and left. And the tunnel was like a legit, like, engineered tunnel. Like, it had support braces and it had electricity. It was all lit up. It was like all the way set up for him to just
That's crazy.
get the fuck out of there. That's nuts, huh?
Yeah. I remember watching videos. I don't know if this was Mexico or not, where they were like, this was like real videos of like these. It could just be cartels, or it could be in another South American country where they go and attack a prison, like try to blow the doors off and just start taking these light machine guns and just shooting everything in sight to try and get out like certain prisoners.
Yeah, dude. They do that shit. Like, cops in Mexico are scared of the cartels. That's why they don't arrest them. They know better, dude.
Our military is a little different than cops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The U.S. military has nothing to lose, right? They're not influenced by them. Like, yeah, like what are the, like, you know, the U.S. soldiers are more trained than, I would say, Mexican police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're
probably a
probably
little better armed, you know?
And probably better trained than Mexican soldiers. Because the Mexican Marines or whatever, and like they have Mexican, like, special forces and Marines or whatever. Like, every once in a while they do like raids against the cartels and they fight them or whatever. But like, a lot of it is influenced by politics, right? Like, the politicians in Mexico are influenced by the cartels.
Right.
And they don't like approve these raids or whatever. So like, a lot of times it's hard to get these raids approved, you know? Like, there was a video at one time of the police, right? They raided a party in this town of Mexico. It was a huge party, right? People were complaining. So the police sent a convoy of like 400 cops, like in a big, like, long convoy of cops, like long bunch of cars. They show up to this house, right? They raided. And you know who they caught in that house, Mayo? The son of El Chapo, like his
I was
kid.
going to say his son. Yep. I knew it.
And you know what happened? The kid told the cop who was running the raid, he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And there's a video of this, and the cop's like, "Yes, I do, sir." And he's like, "I'll give you an option right now." He's like, "Let me go, and I'll make a phone call, and you and all your men can live." He's like, "Or take me in and be prepared for the fight of your life." Because he said, as soon as the party got raided, every cartel member in that city and the city surrounding it had already set up barricades and fucking, like, they were all set up around the town, ready to fucking, like, shoot at the convoy, dude. Like, ready to take him down, to kill everyone, to get him out. And the cop was like, what? And the dude's like, "Yes, I gave you two options. What are you going to do?" And the dude was like, "All right, we'll let you go." And he legit gave the dude the cell phone. He's like, "All right, let me make a phone call." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. They're letting me go. Just let them go out." And they're like, "Okay." And he's like, "All right, you guys have like 20 minutes to get out of here. Get the fuck out of here."
Damn.
Wow.
That's power.
Like, yeah, that's power, dude. Like, that's power. To be able to tell someone, like, "Motherfucker, you know who the fuck I am." You know, you got two choices here. You're either gonna let me walk out of here by myself, or You're gonna fucking shoot your way out of this town with me in the car, and hopefully you get to make it out with me still under arrest. What are you gonna choose, dude? Like, that's a crazy choice, man. Like, that is like, you would never hear that happen in the United States ever. Like, not even like fucking, like, I couldn't even see like the craziest mobster from back in the day doing that shit in the US. You know what I mean? Like, some fucking Don from like the mafia doing that shit. I couldn't see that happening. Like, oh, you're gonna let me go or you're gonna die. Like, choose, Gunny. Like, that's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
Especially they have a lot of power.
I've seen all of them, Jesus. The Sicaro movies.
Yeah, the Sicarios.
Sicarios. Yeah. Those were good. I really even enjoyed the last one. It was kind of stupid with the cops, but like bad plot line on that. But still, like, fuck, it was just like, that was some gangster shit right there in Mexico. Like, just how the fucking amount of fucking gunfights were just insane. I think those were good.
All right, Jesus. Speaking of getting out of here, I gotta get out of here. It's getting late.
Yeah, man.
It's my bedtime. It's past Mayo's bedtime over here. No, you can catch me, on Discord mainly. Everywhere is the Mayo or the Mayo one. And then come say hi on the Discord. We'll be around. All right, we'll see you guys.
Go find me. Bye. Go find me. I'm Gunny Chief. Gunny Chief on everything except for PlayStation. HGP_Gunny over on that device.
And find me on everything as Jesus Walkflower. I'll be playing some more games this week. Hopefully some more News Tower and some other games. Yeah. I'll see what else I play. I kind of want to... Is it next week? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 week? It is.
I know in 3 days we got the new Sniper Elite game comes out.
Yeah, I got that downloaded already, pre-installed or whatever. Game Pass. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what comes out this week. Anyways, peace out, Brussels sprouts. We'll catch you on the next edition of the Horrible Gamers Podcast. Stay safe, stay good, stay healthy. We love you all. Thank you for listening. And share us with your friends and family. Most of all, with your friends. Your family might think you're weird if you share us with them.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Just your friends.
It's kind of awkward. Yeah, just your friends. Anyways, maybe coworkers, maybe like people you meet on the street, but not your family. No, that's bad. Bye, everyone. Bye.
See ya.